Hey folks, it's another fine night here in Southeast Asia, perfect for some Valorant action, and what better way to get that than with Updraft by KJC eSports. Welcome everyone to the commentator desk. Joining us tonight is Gen and of course yours truly. Gen, we've seen some close games yesterday. What you got for me on these two teams?
Yep, then well, before we head on to our night yesterday, let's talk about our sponsors for KJC Updraft. Let us thank our official gaming chair sponsor, Vertigear, and official giveaway sponsor, Coda Shop. Both of these sponsors are sponsoring our giveaways. Exclamation point giveaway for the chance to win. 5 people might get $20 worth of Valorant points, and then one person might get that 100 juicy US dollars worth of Valorant points. And for all of you residing in Singapore, there is a giveaway of one Vertigear gaming chair as well.
Absolutely. And of course, this event is co-organized with Cyberport as well, the go-to creative digital community with a cluster of technology and digital content tenants in Hong Kong. Now, again, back to the matter at hand. These two teams we've got tonight are they're pretty good to say the least, right? You guys get paid versus S2 esports. So, tell me all about them.
Yep, they showed up a few of those strats to play with. Of course, these are the two players that won the quarterfinals from the first two games last night. They were against their own opponents, of course, not just someone to diminish at all, because these teams definitely played each other to the T. And this time around, we do have a different map to see them to play on, which is Bind for map 1, picked up by YGGP, and then Breeze on the second by S2, which is a whole different setup compared to what we saw yesterday on Icebox and Haven. Of course, Haven, definitely something to look forward to anyway over at map 3 as a decider, just in case we go 1-1 for both of these teams.
Yeah, but as you mentioned again, we are going. First map is Bind. What are you expecting out of this? Because personally, I want to see a Brimstone. Please let me see a Brimstone, and I hope we get one. Because if there's any map that Brimstone is powerful now, not just viable, it's Bind.
Yeah, we did talk about it yesterday. Omen and Brimstone, two of the controllers that got updated and buffed up in the latest patch. And we did see yesterday a Brimstone in play. And right now we see Milwan holding onto it right now for our defenders.
And it's not just Brimstone we got to talk about, right? We got to talk about everyone who got those changes. And one of those, of course, is the Yoru. Very, very potent in this map, particularly because of the teleports. But no one's hovering it right now again. No, we're not going to be seeing it probably.
Man, I was expecting an Omen to be picked up as well on the bind, but instead we do see both of these teams opting for that Brimstone. Maybe we see the lineups like we used to before the update, which we always see on a Viper. But of course, Chamber being picked up as well. Pretty much getting into the staple of compositions because of just how powerful he is on the eco rounds and as a Sentinel Trapper with that trademark.
Yeah, forgot to mention here again, you guys get paid going on the attacking side on this first half, and it seems like they're doubling up on the offense here, going with the double duelist setup with the Raze and the Jet. You know, I love that we're going back into the Raze setups because, well, for the better part of last year, it was almost constantly the Jet and Ray in a combo. Raze, of course, I love this. Even on the defense, you mind, of course, holding that as well. And let's talk a little bit more about YouMind, one of the key members yesterday in them winning, and I'm expecting him to perform the same way tonight.
Yeah, speaking of people to look after to over onto the attacker side, of course, we have Cold as well as that Jet. This man has been able to get so many of his first bloods with the operator that gave them so many openings and wins from their yesterday's game. So looking forward to this player as well.
Absolutely. And I love it. I love both of our compositions. Saikuro on that Sky. Actually, not going for the double initiator comp, just going for the single Sky. Quite interesting here for the side of S2 esports. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring up later on the attacking side, especially with the lack of information, just that. But for now, it seems to be an A hit. Showers is the area of contestant. Cold leading the charge here. Gonna be met with resistance. Miliwan backing off for now.
Launching
He's
smoke.
got full utilities on Milliman's side. No armor, no upgrade on the pistol at all. He got 2 stim beacons on the pistol round and the molly, which will be used on the shower side. That should slow down the push, or does it? Because they all just pushed up. That started the push for them. They were outstimmed and they pushed up all the way, killing out Milwan. But Fade is here with you, mind, of course, from the spawn side. They just shut down that push. They pushed way too close into that smoke. And now with that, they've actually backed off. They're going for the bait and switch. Saikaro is left alone on this B side. He hears the steps. Pala is on the site.
Yeah, you guys get paid. They did a pretty decent job of trading those kills out. At the end of the day, leaves us with a 3 versus 2, but will it be enough? Because the plant hasn't been committed as of yet, but all the members of S2 Esports have already made their way down in here. Fortunately for them, there's very little information to work with because of the fact that there's no Sova for the side of S2 Esports, but they are making a bit of an interest here in A side. It seems like they have a pretty good idea,
left.
and they're right. Plant now comes through. 20 seconds. Make that into 45. Be the post plant 2-on-3.
Teleport's ready.
Yeah, the HP's not looking good for YGGP right now, so just a few taps onto them. There we go. Saikaro even from the elbow side catches Istar as well from the rendezvous. With that, it will easily clean up the remaining YGGP members, and S2 Esports gets the first round of their first down.
Pretty clean round. Not gonna lie for S2 Esports. Of course, Fade at the helm of it, picking up 3 quick kills down in A site. Just completely halted that push from happening and paraded the spike down in B site. Now, they're gonna pick up the upgrades this time, and I love that you pointed out earlier, Milliwan opting for the full utility, and this is one of the things that you can do in well, you're supposed to do in Brimstone now that you're not supposed to. The patch before this, it's that stim beacon is just so good, particularly on these Spectre rounds.
And as you said it, Spectre rounds is up for S2, although we have 2 members with the save. Of course, Mikasa is the chamber. He's going to have his hands on the ready. Here we go. The attack is happening over on the B side. Recon Bolt already broken up, and there's a lot of presence for S2 Esports over on this B side. So it's going to be a lot of resistance for SGG.
YGGP.
YGGP, I'm so sorry.
But it seems like it's exactly where they're headed off to anyway. B long, 3 members from You Guys Get Paid are hanging about, or 2 members rather. That's where the spike is as well. Fortunately, S2, they're ready for it. The Cyclo picks up plays. Cold falls as well, courtesy of YouMind. Fortunately, Rexy doesn't, as he holds onto that spike. But it's only a matter of time before they're hunted down, because look at the angles being held by S2. They're so close, but everyone's playing so disciplined. No one's pushing up.
Such a beautiful flash. And another one by Saikoro. That secures them another kill. And that spike control as well. Rexy falls, and that just splits up the rest of YGGP. Ishtar just seeing what he can find, getting baited out. Fades there for the cover. And now it's all down to Hala to see what he can do. He's got a Marshall picked up here. And the Sheriff, of course, might get the shot in. But the jump by Milan with that Steam Beacon makes him go fly high.
And I love this new Stim Beacon. I mean, of course, it's a little bit overpowered. Brimstone gets... it's just taking over the game, and I'm all for it. I mean, Brimstone, for everyone's information, not that anyone asked, is the very first agent that I learned in this game, and I love him so very much because I think he's got one of the most basic kits apart from the Reyna. Well, the difference is Reyna, the burden falls upon you to make the site entry happen. Brimstone, you don't necessarily have to do that because you're not the duelist, and I love that you can do just that with Stim Beacon, especially with the speed you have. But enough about that. It seems like we're gonna have another B push from You Guys Get Paid.
Yeah, it looks like S2 playing a default, and so far this time around, Hala getting the first frag onto Fade, so that's already the Sage down and all the barrier orbs and slows out of the way. And with that, looks like it's just to be an easy cleanup for the bonus round coming out for S2 Esports anyway. The rifles are up here. The good, beautiful flash once again for Saikoro. Picks up Pala. That's one of the Vandals down. A few more damage to enter a YGGP. Here comes S2 Esports. They are ready here on the side. Getting shocked out there. And here we come with Cold even shutting down Saikoro. Not a lot of HP left for these guys from S2 Esports, but let's see what kind of damage they can still do.
2v4, 2 members left for S2. Just the Spectres, remember, but at least they've got very healthy members, relatively. YouMind spots out Cold. Okay, pretty good start for YouMind there on the post plant. But time is ticking away, and Rexy picks up another one down. Defender side. Spawn Blaze picks up YouMind as well to close this one out. 2-1.
And that will be the round, which pretty much is telegraphed at this point. This was their rifle round as well. And an attacker side on the bind. Remember, bind, there is no middle in bind. There's just a bunch of portals that can get you off. Very quick rotations from either side of the team. So with that, they secure their first round. Let's see if they can continue this momentum, because now they are fighting against a full buy from S2 Esports, and something they might not expect is a big operator buy already so early on with Mikasa.
Absolutely. You mind is gonna pick up that Vandal and a light shield as a compromise for picking up that operator from Mikasa. We'll take it. It's good enough for this defense. I mean, of course, one of the things that I like talking about when you've got Brimstone is the amount of aggression that he can have. Speaking of aggression, it's Mikasa who picks up the first kill, and exactly like you said again, they gotta be careful of the op.
And already from the hookah side, there is a push. Fade gets dinked out, so he has to heal up there, and now has to back away from his angle. But the operator is here. Mikasa has given some cover, so that pretty much gives the signal for YGGP that B has now a sitting operator. So they will be trying to creep up on this A side instead, where Umine and Milan will be holding down their ground.
Umine's been not hearing anything at all, but they have a pretty good idea that you guys get paid are making their way down into A with the rotation of the op. Now here, Fat Boy Pala will pick up Umine, holding down that fort not pretty effectively as Blaze inches forward, takes a bit of control. There goes the smokes now being laid out by both Brimstones. So little vision for both of these teams as Ishtar spots out Miluan. It's plant coming through. 4 versus 3 op still in play. Not anymore as Rexy with a quick tap onto Mikasa. And this is going to be so hard with just 2 members, but Cyclo and Fade, they're going to try either way.
S2 Esports, they were able to get the quick kill, the first blood with that operator. It phased a little bit from YGGP, but still, they're not done. They pushed up the side, and now S2 Esports are crumbling. Cyclo left alone. He's got the Seekers, got the flashes. Looks like he will be opting for the save instead. Recon Bolt comes in, might get baited, but it's not done. He does get the shot in, but Rex is there for the trade. So that's it for them, and that's all the damage they will be able to do. So it looks like it's going to be an eco round. Should be on the next one for S2.
That was pretty rough round for S2 Esports. They pick up the op, pick up the first kill, but after the fact, nothing else followed through. That's just unfortunate for them, getting punished real early on with the early operator pickup. Thankfully enough, it's Mikasa that's on the chamber, so not really as much economic damage as it was, say, a Jet, but still, it's gotta hurt them, and it's evident with their guns. Only Cyclo with a bit of a hero buy on the Spectre and Light Shields. They're going for the push down and short. Pala is getting pressured, but not punished as of yet, as he's the one who chucks that nade in. They actually get the first frag onto Fade.
Now, look at the positioning from S2 Esports. They pushed up the A side. They know it's definitely the B side at this point. But they're the only ones left alone. It's all up to Cyclo to hold down his gun. He's held down the hookah side for as long as he can. And it looks like, anyway, YGGP just scooches past him in the B long side. They will get the plant going. And now let's see what kind of pincer S2 Esports can do with just their sheriff buys.
That's info being given away, but Ishtar's not looking the right way. Finally, he does. In the right moment to catch Umine off guard. Miluan is now the only one in lurk duty. Still one to fight against. He gets the shot off, unfortunately, which means that Ishtar will be able to punish him and pick up the flawless, and the third round here for You Guys Get Paid.
You Guys Get Paid has picked up their momentum, but that might be the end of their momentum if S2 Esports gets their ground this time around. Mikasa once again with the operator, but looks like they are stapled on this op, so YGGP should be expecting this at this point. Blaze will have the recon bolt. Looks like they're going to be pushing up the shower side, seeing what kind of information they can find, where the operator would be hopefully be held on, but it looks like Mikasa will be holding for the short side instead. Let's hope Rexy does not get caught here, because if he does, that's controller down.
Pretty good read from Mikasa.
You want to play?
Gonna find
Let's
anything
play.
at all here. Ishtar with the response, his own tour de force to try and spot out any potential first frag. It's actually Miluan who does get it against Pala. Picks up another through the sky smoke. That's an easy 2k for Miluan, but the action is not done. Short, Umine is getting pressured right here. Just does throw away the nade, so he will survive for now.
Yeah, just like you talked about, this is the power of Miluan with the Brimstone, the Stim Beacon.
Ooh.
He has Stim Beacon twice already, getting all these shots and kills as well, even through the sky smoke. This man knows how to control his recall with the increased fire rate, something only skilled players will be able to do and find out for. Blaze, though, the sky smoke does dissipate. He will get an easy kill. Umine was not prepared for it. Here's the reload. They know Miluan is holding down the triple box. Spike is still in no man's land, and so they're just taking their time there. Just changing up the space because they don't know where the rest of S2 Esports are going to be holding on to, so it's risky Rexy now left alone in a 1 versus 4 situation.
You guys get paid. Down to 1, down to Rexy. Does not want to give
Oh,
this
no.
ace away to the enemy Brimstone, but Rexy's got no choice. Only
30
30
seconds
seconds
left.
left, and every angle accounted for. He's got to push this up. Miliwan is going there as well. He's looking for the 5k, but Mikasa doesn't give it to him, but they take the round anyway. S2 Esports, they're 3-3.
Now, YGGP, that was an interesting strat that they tried to go for, taking control of the showers. Fortunately for them, is Milowan, the big man that was holding down the shower side, and with that, he was able to shut down their push, so well played to him. YGGP looks like they're going to have to try and find a different opening for them as they give Cold the operator to play with.
Absolutely. As a response to Mikasa, who, quite frankly, hasn't been finding a lot of success in the round before the last. This time, though, they does pick up 1 kill. But of course, like you mentioned, it is Milowan that is the undoubted hero of that round for S2 Esports. It's like another kerfuffle is happening down in short. No push as of yet, and I like this. I like this change of pace that's being set up by YGGP. But going for the push anyway.
Milowan, just perfect timing for that Sky Smoke. Immediately slows down the push from YGGP. In the meantime, Cold is slowly creeping up in this B-long side where Saikoro is moving out with his guiding light. Doesn't even matter. Mikasa was holding the angle. You can't slow push an operator with that easy frag for him. And now the push comes up on this A side.
Whoa, you mind. Does pick up Pala as a
Spike
response to him.
planted.
Taking out Milowan, so we're still at an even game here. 3 versus 3. And Op is now gone from the hands of Cold, who, as we remember, is taken out down in B side. Seekers will be here to assist you, mind, with this post-plant push. He goes the showstopper as well. Gonna not pick up that kill. Beautiful rendezvous right there for Ishtar. Keeps him alive in this post-plant. That's 2 ultimates committed already. Not a lot of payoff from that. And Ishtar Blaze pick up 1 apiece, leaving Mikasa all alone with this Op. He wants to save this. And thankfully enough, he will be able to for now.
Alright, we're able to get away. He's got the rendezvous prepared as well. So even if they do chase him down, he will be able to teleport out. Oh, speaking of teleport, actually teleport into the hookah side. And Mikasa might just have a bit more trouble here. He does have a trademark prepared in the hookah side, so he will stay alive with this operator. So 3-4 now is our scoreline in favor of YGGP. So far, it's been back and forth for both of these teams. Who will be able to pick up this advantage and momentum?
Yeah, and it's not because of the operator pickup not working out right. Because it's been really constant with picking up the first blood with this op. So the problem here for S2 Esports is to following through with that. Pick up those, just play together and get those trades happening. But unfortunately, it hasn't been really panning out in their favor. This round is definitely a pivotal round for them. Cold picks up the op once more, looking undeterred after that last bout with his enemy opera Mikasa. This time it's Saikoro that's going to be getting the first contact. Blind does connect. Blaze, beautiful dodge right there. Will get traded out by Fade. So now it's a 4-on-3 as Fade picks up 2, slows them away. Fade stuck between a rock in a hard place. Finally will fall down after picking up 3 kills, but real good job from that Sage already.
Yeah, definitely true. That's definitely a really good job for him. The Sage just picked up 3 kills, immediately shutting down the push. This is the power of the Sage. Some very underrated when you try to think about it. The slow orb that is in the potential use of a Sage really slows down any of these rushes, and as well the peaks coming out from attackers. If you try to peek while you're slowed, it's going to be much easier for anyone holding down the angle to catch you off guard first. Speaking of catching off guard, Cold was already holding that angle in the elbow side. Immediately, Umine does fall. Mikasa left alone now. He's got the operator. He's not looking the right way, but the elbow shot, Cold does not connect, so he will be backing off this time around. Now he knows the operator is probably holding down his angle, so we'll be backing up. It's going to be the spike plant and a post-plant situation.
Mikasa still has the op, so it's not really the best gun to play with when you're going for the push. Let's see, as long as he pick up the first kill, he's got no clue that Cold has switched up to the Vandal, which is why he's not really risking it right now. But Milwood does, and Mikasa follows up. Cold and Ishtar falls. We're going back into equal score, and just when they needed to, S2 Esports, they pick up the round.
Yes, every single time, all throughout these rounds, one of these players from S2 Esports have been coming up here. Milowan holding down the showers, Fade holding down the B-long, Saikoro as well with the beautiful flashes as well. They've been doing such a good job for all of these rounds. 4-4 now is the equalizer. Let's see if YGP can get a better hold of how these players are holding off their ground here on the defense.
It's really interesting that Cold is constantly picking up that operator. I mean, of course, the bank is already built up for him to afford just that, but I'm not sure if I can still say the same if they lose this round. But let's see, it's the battle of the first bloods here, and the battle of the ops for that matter. Mikasa activates a tour de force, will get spotted out by the Owl Drone, but this time he won't win the Mexican standoff against Cold. 5-on-4 in favor of YGGP.
Yeah, already it's Milawan who will be holding down the angle. He knows such a long shower side has been taking control of, so he will be holding up here. So at the same time, there's also two members lurking out for YGP on the B side, where Yumai will be holding his own operator. Takes out Pala. Cold again with the operator. So many operators just popping off left and right for this game. 3 versus 4 now. Although S2 Esports, they do have a Resurrect ready and prepared for Fade, but the members are just nowhere to try and get it off.
Spike planted.
Beautiful crash from Psycho does get shot down, but he's still alive. Psycho gets a headshot onto Cold. Another beautiful flash to take care of Rexy. But it's Fade with the quick response, and like you said, Resurrect will be connected, leaving Ishtar all alone in this 1 versus 3, and Fade with another nasty headshot will secure this round, and as to Esports, they put themselves 1 ahead once more.
You gotta give perks to S2 Esports players, man. They're just topping off each other every single time. We got star players on every single member of this team at the moment. Let's hope that YGGP can try to pick up their ground as well. Let's see some action there for Cold. He will have the Blade Storm coming up this next round, picking up the full armor and the shorty as well. Looks like they will still be able to force up their buy-up with the full Vandal still, even though Cold will just be holding just that shorty because of he does have the Blade Storm to play with. Let's see if we can get some action here, some Updraft and dashes, tailwinds, maybe onto this B side.
And it's not just the
Get out
updrafts
of
and
my way.
the blast packs. They gotta utilize, well, the strongest controller right now, and that's Brimstone. They gotta utilize that Stim Beacon on this offense. It seems to me that it's a bit lacking after all this push so far. Psycho again picks up the first kill against Pala. Will be equalized, but Mikasa has got something to say about it as he gets Cold with the op one, no less. Looking for the next one as he does pick up plays. Ishtar holding down the angle, holding down the fort, but that op's just too good from Mikasa, picking up the third, looking for the fourth. Rendezvous away so he can look for more. Ishtar has to push this up because he doesn't have spike control, and it's Fade who is holding down the angle right now. At least he's got full health and the Rendezvous to work with, but he's got so many to watch out for, and Mikasa picks up the 4K with the Headhunter. 6-4, and like you said, again, every single time, it's like S2 Esports, they're queued up for the pop-off. You get a pop-off, you get a pop-off, everyone gets one from S2.
Well, now we're just waiting for Umine to pop off here. Anytime now, S2. Let's go. Give Umine his time to shine here. Alright, but here, YGP, they still, strats do come up for YGP side. It's just perks to S2 Esports to shut it down every single time. The Aldrone comes in, but the flash, the counter, every single time S2 Esports have been reading YGGP like a book.
Wow, utility usage from Psycho and Fade is just been so beautiful. Pal actually speeding things up with this Judge Satchel out just for reassurance on that safety, but just against Satchel, someone using an operator on Mikasa. Gonna back away for now. Actually, they're going for the plant. Cold leading the charge against the Sky Smoke as he spots one, but that's about it. He gets nothing more out of that push. At least they do get the plant off, and the Hunter's Fury will be there to buy them a bit of time to reposition, but Psycho is already here. He's pressing the issue. He picks up 2 kills. Milawan is looking to spot Blaze through the Sky Smoke, and he does! What a shot was that! And Diffuse now coming through 7-4 score after this.
Yeah, Milawan just told Blaze there, that's my Sky Smoke. You cannot hide in there. I have full control of it. With that, they again secure the round. Blaze, of course, another player that we've seen pop off yesterday in their quarterfinals. You know, this guy is known for his headshots as well as that Sova player as well. It was again a nice try for YGGP. They've exhausted so many ults for that round. Unfortunately for them, S2 Esports were just prepared for it. Despite this being YGGP's map pick, we see S2 Esports, they're not letting up.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Mikasa, there's not a surprise at this point that he's still holding on to the operator. Ishtar will of course try to contest that with his tour de force. B-site once more seems to be the target here where you guys get paid. As Blaze opens it up with the Owl Drone, spots out just a singular member. Again, Pala this time will not get first blooded as he makes the entrance. Looking for the kills, but can't make those shots happen through the air. Mikasa again with another shot on the op. Looking for more as he's now made his way down into B site. He's looking at the right angle. 2 members to watch out for against. No rendezvous available in more means that he will be punished by Cold this time. Blaze picks up Miller one. So suddenly the turns, or the tides have turned in favor of you guys get paid and you mind on a 1 versus 2.
Yeah, this is the last round of the first half. It's time for Mind to pick up his own shining star. Let's see if he can do it because he's about to get sparked off the Cold. The top fragger of YGGP. But here we go. As we've talked about S2 Esports, every single member, they've showed up. They're all the star players of their own side. Where did that firework go?
Switching sides.
I mean, yeah, this time though, at least it's the switch of sides for both of these teams, and 8-4. It's the place you want to be in if you're behind, right? I mean, it's not the best,
Breathing
but
space.
of course, yeah. So it's a bit of room to work with, and of course, the pistol round is where it's at. As long as you guys get paid, secure this pistol, they will continue to have that breathing space towards this next half. At least they do have a pretty good composition in their attacking side. Well, it's not as good as having 2 duelists, but of course, Mikasa can act as sort of a semi-duelist. Sakura as well on that sky. Let's see how this is gonna pan out, again. I'm so excited.
This is the power of having a flash in your control. That flash from Sakura has been so beautiful ever since the defense. Let's see if they can make it work over at the offensive side. It looks like they're trying to make some action over at this A side. Just in the showers, here comes the guiding light. Looks like it was a baiting guiding light as well, but pretty much YGP is not baited at all. It takes the fight to Fade. Fade falls by Rexy, and now it's all down. Spike has been dropped. The Cloudburst will be there to try and secure that spike from the other side anyway.
Here in showers. Whoa! Both Brimstones. Blaze goes for the ballsy TP and he gets put through the wall. And what a way to start the second round. Who said they needed to pick up this pistol? They didn't need to do it in such style. 5-8 is the scoreline, and they're inching forward. YGGP.
A beautiful, beautiful, flawless round come out from YGGP, and now looking like they're putting up their buy-up, even just holding a ghost for his star side. But remember, he's a chamber. He's got the headhunter. You don't really have to worry about having a little tiny silencered weapon compared to the classics that will be shoving them up over onto this B side very soon here.
Let's see if B side really is the answer here, considering that Pala's holding on to a judge this time around. Actually not making any sort of noise, which means that there's no information, but actually they do have a pretty good idea with the sky smoke now being put through in hookah. The judge is blinded away. Mind is there with a quick dig, but Ishtar, pretty good flick to dodge that flash. So that leaves us in a 3-on-5. Mikasa and the rest of the SDs get yet to make any sort of action as Cold picks up Fade. That's a bit of damage with a single kill, but they're at least gonna get the plant off in A side.
Yeah, there we go. Mikasa prepared and ready for the man who pretty much rendezvoused in, which was Ishtar. Does not expect it. Whoa! Mikasa spots all 3 members and shoots Blaze right through his teammate as well into the head. And with that, Mikasa will get another free kill, somewhat now doable for the team. Mikasa catching them off guard from behind, but Cold is there to give him some cover. Rexy with the Spectre as well, takes out Milawan with that judge. And now, it's going to be the round still for YGGP.
Yeah, of course, it was meant to go that way anyway. A bit of a hiccup in that post-plant, losing 2 members, but at least they're secured the round. That's a lot of damage being made, though, which means that not everyone will be able to afford those assault rifles this time around for you guys to get paid. Exact opposite is true for S2 Esports. Everyone's got their own assault rifles, and this time I'm expecting it. Well, of course, we're all expecting it to go in the way of S2 Esports, but you guys get paid. Maybe they can make some magic happen.
Yeah, that was an interesting strat that YGGP did, leaving Rexy alone on the A side, expecting the B push to happen from S2 Esports. Although they were gambling all 4 of their members. This time around, looks like S2 Esports might be committing the spike onto this B side as we hear a rendezvous coming out from Ishtar to hold on to the A side. This pretty much leaves the B side with only 2 members left. Here comes the Trailblazer looking for some action, looking for some interesting information. They do spot the Blaze with the Ares on hold, so that's gonna be the hold. And Mikasa taking out Pala, trying to push up here from this A side. So that's lurk control, and that's a spike as well, getting the TP in.
Be careful of this B push, but it's been called off. Mikasa is leading the charge down in A as he picks up 1. That's Rexy to fall.
Wall raised.
Fade finally makes his way into side, so that means the plant finally gonna come through. Two
Spike
members
planted.
falling for the side of S2 eSports. Or rather, you guys get paid. They start looking for the response as he does get it. Gets the upgrade as well. Will he be able to get away from there? Yes, he will. 3 on 4. And time's ticking away.
Scanning
before
ahead.
You guys get paid.
Star's got the full armor. With this upgrade, he could deal some damage here to S2 Esports. Let's see if he can find. He finds the first one onto U-Mind already. They have to be careful. There's still one holding out
enemy
in the
remaining.
pocket side, but Mikasa comes out again from another lurk, even in the middle of the battle, taking his 4K there for this first round on the board for them.
Absolutely. First round in the second half for S2 Esports. I mean, it was kind of telegraphed to go their way. Of course, it was the gun round that they've been waiting for so long in this second half. Still, puts them 3 rounds up ahead. 9-6 is the score line. But we gotta remember, Mikasa now has the Tour de Force available. This is the man that's been picking up those first kills every single time he's had the offer, either the Tour de Force to his avail on the defensive side, that is. This time he's on the attack, so it's a little bit harder to do, but if you've got the aim, and we know Mikasa does, might just be able to replicate that.
And we even see Cold pretty much bringing out the operator despite the back deficiency coming out from the whole team here. We even see Blaze just opting for the Ares. Of course, the Ares is still somewhat buff from the last patch that we've heard that there will be no more wind-up coming out from this big machine gun. But instead, they did nerf it a bit, bringing up the recoil a lot higher as soon as some point when everyone just started using the Ares over the rifles.
They're still very powerful in my opinion. Ares still a go-to for me, especially on the defensive side. But let's see if he's gonna make some magic happen here. I mean, it is round number 4. I'm quite surprised that there isn't actually a lot of creds in the way of you guys get paid, because of the amount of damage that S2 Esports have always been getting despite losing the first 2 rounds on the second half. This is the result of just that. Let's see though, because the next one, completely different story from the last couple of rounds. 2 ops, 1 op each side. So again, it's a Mikasa versus Cold battle, but if statistics prove anything, it's Mikasa that seems like always has the upper hand again.
Yep, and at the moment we are on a technical pause, so sit back, sit tight. We'll be back in our game very soon here. It will be resuming very soon, but at the moment we will be talking about Ishtar and Mikasa both have Tour de Force ready. So there are 2 operators on hold on the defender's side on YGP's side. So that's going to be a very interesting setup to see. Looks like they will have 1 on each side, 1 on B and 1 on A. Let's see if Mikasa can get a hold of this and find where these operators are holding so they can try and flush it out with Saikoro's guiding light and then take them down.
Absolutely. And speaking of Saikoro's guiding light, he seems to have it figured out. Every single time he uses that hawk, it just pans out beautifully for his and his team's favor. Of course, that's gonna be a key factor here on the attacking side, considering that he's the only one that has that flashing ability in his entire team. Going back into the game now, ladies and
Our
gents.
game.
Yeah.
You want to play?
Going
Let's
into the game
play.
now, ladies and gents. And it seems like it's gonna be a B hit that's in the works here.
There you
For
go.
S2 Esports.
Okay, have you seen it? This is a very, very nice setup coming from Cold. This is also a position that Dubstep absolutely loves from Team Secret's side. Holding down the angle with the jet because he's got the tailwind to hold with, and as well, the smokes to try and pick them out. But the guiding light is there for Saikoro, and as well, they've got an opening from the hookah side. The shots are coming in. Paula gets the shot in, trying to push up from this A side. This actually kind of slows down and makes YGP double think about what they will be doing here.
Both chambers are now out for the count in this round, but still 4 on 4. But look at the push that's now being made by You Guys Get Paid. Everyone's so far forward, but Saikoro spots out Pala. He expected it. They've done their homework as to esports, and they are not falling for these shenanigans. Look, the lurks are now being called off as Rexy is hearing a lot of sound cues being made out in A side. In addition to that, is the plant now coming through. He does get a beautiful molly off, but it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, Fate will be able to heal that burning off because she is the Sage in play, and now it's a 4 versus 3 situation post-plant as well, so this is going to be so difficult for YGP to try and enter up to, especially since they've only got an Ares, and they do have the operator to play with as well, so Rexy has to go big here have to make the entries work. Fade and Umind already with the crossfire here inside the lamp side. The recon ball might slow them down there. The entry just runs and guns him. Makes enough of a distraction as Rexy takes both members from that crossfire down. The spike is sticking though, so Miliman also has a beautiful position. He's about to pop out of the sky smoke and gets the frag as well. Rexy falls, he just shoots through the cloudburst, easily taking out Cold. A nice try and push from YGGP, but still S2 Esports comes out on top.
And that is not something you want to face up against the Ares that's buffed up by the Stim Beacon. But at the end of the day, it didn't work out in favor of you guys to get paid, and they weren't able to get the defuse off because of beautiful positioning from both Miliwan and Umind, I believe. So 10-6 is the scoreline. 4 ahead is where E2 Esports are at right now. And they're, speaking of ahead, they're so far ahead in terms of creds that they're forcing another eco out of you guys get paid, and this is not looking good for them. Double digits is already on the board, so there's a lot of pressure being mounted on Cold as he tries to hold on to his control of Hookah. He now has to back up, but it's Blaze who picks up one with just a stinger. Pala picks up Miliwan as well, so that's completely going to shut down the Hookah push. Teleports now being made by Mikasa, Saikoro, and Fade.
Yeah, that was a very nice strat coming out from YGP. They just TP'd every single member from that A side into the B hookah to give some cover with their Ikaron. You know that this is the Ikaron. You know that they want to have what the 2 ultimates being used just to slow down the spike, and it is working out. They're taking him out. Every single one. Fade now left alone. He tried to put up the heal, but the 50 round pops in. It's going to be the round for YGGP.
Beautiful round at that. They pick up the Thrifty and the upgrades, so it's basically free guns, and I believe they only lost 1 member in the process. That's basically as good as it can get as far as Thrifties go. But unfortunately, they will, well, fortunately, that is, they have enough just to inch those guns into their pockets. Same is not true though for S2 Esports. Back to the Sheriffs, and no op this time for Mikasa. It's Cold who has it.
And again, Cold will be once more pushing up into this shower side. The guiding light does not pop, so Saikoro has no information if they are pushing up, but they did hear the steps anyway. Tries to YPK in. Cold has the angle, will get a first frag in, and they will immediately back off with that man advantage, despite even with the disadvantage. Although there is Miliwan, he has the hero buy, the Phantom, and the Light Shield. So we're looking at this man to get some action in for his team.
Phantom, the Light Shield, and of course the Stim Beacon. Gotta remember that. Miliwan though, gets to find anything despite having all of that. Instead, they're the ones getting pummeled. Mikasa falls, and still he's slowly making his way down into B site, holding on to the spike, that is. But 5 member to watch out for. So it seems like the game has begun, because look at the members of you guys get paid. They're inching forward.
YGGP taking advantage of the fact that Bind is such a small map and so easy to try and take control of by just walking around. Literally take a few steps in and you've now taken control of the whole site. So let's see if Miliwan and Fade can do anything at all left that they can do. They have a plant, they have the Sage Wall as well to work with, but the shots are there, the gun advantage for the team. There's not even enough space to try and plant this spike. Miliwan does take Rexy out, who's trying to push up the Sky Smoke, so now they're just left alone. Ooh, here's the set from behind, but Ishtar will be the man to take him out. So now just Fade left alone. This should be just a cleanup for YGGP.
To say about it, he takes down Ishtar with him before falling against Blaze. And you guys get paid. They are slowly closing the window on S2 Esports. Don't get me wrong, S2 Esports are still 2 rounds ahead, but that was from a 4-round advantage, and now finally they will be getting their guns. But the mental, I mean, you gotta question the mental at this point, because they've been on roll so far, but they just got completely halted by you guys get paid, who now, by the way, still has the op on Cold unpunished, and their bank slowly being built up. Thankfully for S2, they've got 4 ults to work with, so this round might be the turnaround. I've got your
trail. Especially since Uman has a judge and the showstopper to work with, so this should be used up here very soon. Ooh, pretty much the orbital strike being used, and Blaze is the man who holds out over on the shower side. Look at the positioning coming out from YGGP. The way they are taking control of this map, there's so much control on their side. It's just boxing in S2 Esports every single time.
Resurrect to come through though means it's a 4 versus 3, and Blaze pushing up from behind. They've got info opted. Shock dart will work in his favor. Miliwan falls. But again, he's got 2 more members to watch out for, and time ticking against him. Umine is the first of those obstacles. He might get the lineup here, and he does! He gets the 4K and the clutch. What a beautiful play from Blaze. And again, they're inching forward. It's gonna be 9-10 after this game.
Yes, he even picks up that judge, you know, just why not take a little nice hold of the judge before we pick up that operator. Blaze, finally turning online and showing up here, getting the clutch that we absolutely love to see from this man as the Sova on the defense. 10-9 now, the gap has been closed off here. Just one more round for S2 Esports, and then they will secure the equalizer, and then we have a game on our night.
I mean, this is already a game in my book, but yeah, let's see. There's still a potential turnaround for both of these teams, for that matter. I mean, as to esports, while they have just enough to go for the force buy, Lilywine is receiving the short end of the stick, just holding on to that Spectre. But of course, he's a Brimstone, can opt for the Stim Beacon to compensate for the lack of firepower. But again, this attack for them has not been working out so far. They need to play this more coordinately. And they do open it up a little bit better this time with Umine picking up Pala.
Yeah.
It's a bit of control down in A site as Mikasa decides to push forward, but that's info being given away by those traps.
Umine does get dinked down to red HP, but they've got 2 members for the sustain, the regrowth, and the heal from the stage as well. So with that, they will be able to clear up this A site as well. Mikasa has made the lurk going on for him, and now it's only a 4 versus 5, and they still have a showstopper as well, just in case Ishtar gets a nice headshot in it. Here comes the molly from Rexy. The beautiful molly that we've been mentioning every single time from this round just shut down the plan for S2 Esports. So now YGP is on the driver's seat suddenly. Just one more round, that's all they need. Milovan with just a Spectre to play with. Cold getting the frag onto Mikas at the man who is lurking the bane of their existence. Milovan Psychoto finally falls. It's going to be a 10-10.
You guys get paid. I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting this to go the distance the first half, but they just proved me wrong. Now they're the ones that are 2 rounds away from match point. All of a sudden, this is their game to lose, and it seems like they're not willing to do just that as of yet. Cold still has the op, still has yet to be punished. I mean, it's been what, 4 consecutive rounds that he has that, 5 including this coming. And I gotta say, man, it looked really good in the in the first half, but right now S2 Esports they're holding on.
Yeah, he's got an eagle round and a beautiful recall ball from Blaze. Spots all 3 members over at the fountain side. Will try to find the shots, but Fade is the one who gets the Sheriff headshot. Cold is not holding the usual spot he has over in the B long side. Again, showstopper being used, and again a rendezvous was there to try and counter it. You might still just get the chamber, but still Paula, the man, getting 2 of his frags before finally falling. It's now a 2 versus 3, still somewhat doable. This was just their eco round for S2 Esports, but so far to make it work. Gold has something else to say about it. The operator, he shots, he just sees the shoulder of Umine, and he will get the shot through the wall. The wall is there for the Sage here, over onto the elbow side. Cold knows this, he hears this, he tries to hop over onto it with the operator. He drops his positioning. He has no more Updraft to try and enter it. Now he has to tick off from this wall.
Fade and Sayakura, they're so close to turning this game around. They've got no heals either. Well, actually, they do have their regrowth available, but they just don't have enough time. So much pressure being made by Rexy, who picks up Fade, but he gets traded out by Psycho. It's a 1 versus 1 now between Cold and him, and Psycho wins it for the Thrifty and the advantage. So now S2 Esports, they're back in control.
What a thrifty round coming up from S2 Esports. Of course, the bank is still there for YGP, especially for when you get Cold. He had the 9K to play with, so they will all still have the money and the economy to buy up their full rifles. But that was thrifty round for S2 Esports. You know, if you get that thrifty, you just pick up that confidence immediately, especially from a 10-10 score, getting that first round advantage. 11-10 now. They only need 1 more to get that advantage for the match point. Let's see if they can make their rifle round work. But the spike is planted in no man's land, so it's going to be a full default.
Oh, but Cold, except the first 2, set themselves up for the advantage early on here. 5 versus 4. Of course, it's a key member. That's Mikasa that's falling. So that's the tour de force out of the count for the post plant already. But again, this game, it's It's so close. I can feel the pressure from where I'm sitting. And it
Yes.
seems like B site is where the target is going to be for now for S2 Esports. They're slowly inching forward, but they will get slowed down by the Blaze, who will get taken out by the Molly from Miliwan. Beautiful stuff right there from the Brimstone, but the plant actually getting halted by Miliwan because of the nade. Eventually make it happen though, but actually Orbital Strike will be there as a response to buy them a bit of time. So now the rotations have made their way through. Fade gets the Resurrect up to equalize the manpower as Pala picks up U-Mine. But still, Spike yet to go down again.
And finally, the spike should be committed here. Miliwan is meant to slow down Sky Smoke. There is no more smoke to try and slow them down. Molly can push through. They're trying to take control of the elbow side. Do not want a bane of this elbow, but Pala will be holding down the angle. He's spraying through. Gets one down, but finally Miliwan is the one who gets the frag. And because he got the frag, he gets the orbital strike ready. He will be able to stop the defuse from happening. So now it's still a 2v2. Still very doable for any of these teams. Will YGP try to equalize the score because the spike is being defused, getting baited down. Rexy baits it and Cold because they know they got shots from happening. And now Miliwan have such a tall order to try and enter this side. Cold will have a beautiful angle. They will equalize this score 11-11.
Oh, I am so excited for this game, Gan. You would not believe it. But here. Let me lay down the facts right now. It's 11-11. Yes, the game is pretty close, but the firepower is just not. Fade and Mikasa will the entirety of the S2 Esports gang. I don't think they have enough credits to go for the force buy, and seems like they're not going for it. Just the Sheriff being picked up by Miliwan signals to me that they're actually going for this save, but hold that. They're actually going to force buy here again, so they're looking to turn this game around right now.
It's a sort of a semi-half buy, so to say, as we've called it from yesterday's quarterfinals, where they are a bit playing for the long game. At the same time, they do have a chance still to maybe open things up, especially since they've got the Tour de Force to work with, and the Headhunter, and Fade and Saikoro with these rifles, the big gun buys. They need to find these frags and get Rexy, especially Rexy. If you take Rexy out very early on, there will be no more Sky Smokes to try and slow them down. Here's the Trailblazer looking for some action. Ishtar gets spotted. They know it's just Ishtar. It's a chamber. He's got the rendezvous. There we go. Flash comes in. Immediately rendezvous out. So now they know that half of the side should be cleared up, and the wall for Fade should be there, but Fade is actually coming out from the shower side, so this plan is going to go dry.
Absolutely. But they do get it off. Saikoro is stuck in that spot because of the Molly, but at least they did get the plant off. And this is the time for Mikasa to go to work with the Tour de Force. And there you go. He picks up Rexy just when I pointed it out. Blaze getting slowed down by that passive off the chamber as Fade picks up Ishtar. Now no one falling as of yet for S2 Esports as they're holding strong on this post plant. Fade right here. They're watching every angle. Oh, the beautiful swing. And things suddenly turn things around. Cold going for the defuse, but there is a Brimstone lineup they're unaware of. Will there be enough time? Yes, there will, because Blaze pick up the 4K. But actually sticking away. The spike diffuser has been killed, so they will not be able to get it off. And that's to esports. They take us into match point.
Mikasa takes the timing in hand. That Molly, such huge damage from the Brimstone, especially if there are no more shields left from the remaining members. They've dwindled their HP just enough for that Molly to take them down to 0. They will not be able to take the half of that defuse. They only get the first one, and that's all they can get. Match point now for S2 Esports. YGGP. They are this time. They pretty much turn the tides, as you said it. The eco turns around. It's the advantage for S2 Esports.
Turns have tided, like I like to say. Now Cold still has the op despite the FP buys coming through for the rest of his team. He does get concussed and spotted. That's being given away, but it's Blaze who does open things up with the first touch. He picks up U-Mine with just an Ares. It will be traded out though, so it's still an equal round here again. But rotations now being made by the defensive side. That is, you guys get paid, so they're reassessing here. S2.
That has to be a heartbreaker for YGGP. They were gunning everything for Colt to get a first blood with that operator. Unfortunately for him, he bumped into a wall with the tailwind, and that gives Fade the frag. So with that, they do have Ishtar. They still have semi-off to work with. Mikasa getting a nice frag onto Blaze, pushing up from the hookah side. They're pretty much taking too antsy on that push. The push will still be on the B side. Ishtar is not holding alone on this A side, and they will be left alone as the remaining members of S2 Esports fall. Ishtar, it's on a 1 for clutch for him. Do you think it's doable, Data?
Spike planted.
I mean, anything is possible.
Oh, no.
But
Cabbage got him.
yeah, but it's very improbable, especially with the fact that they got every bit of information to work with on where his precise location is at. All they gotta do is watch out for that singular angle, and all it takes is a single bullet to take him out. So Ishtar, yes, he does have the op, or rather the tour de force, but one shot is all it takes. Psycho falls, but still the first out of 4 that he's got to deal with, and now down to half health. He will not make it happen. S2 Esports bring us 1-0.
It was such a close game for both of these teams, but unfortunately a heartbreaker round for YGGP from the last one. S2 Esports, congratulations for them for winning their first map 1 of this best of 3 here in KJC Updraft.
Absolutely, and what a way to start the day, right, Gen? But stay tuned, folks, because we are in it for a best of 3. Make sure to hydrate, check your postures, and stay right here because we'll be back after this short break.
Hello and welcome back to KJC Esports Updraft. My name is Gen and I'm here with the amazing Datum. We are your shoutcasters for today's semifinals. Team You Guys Get Paid versus S2 Esports. What a first map we've got.
This is feeling a lot like the first week already again. I mean, that first week, day number 2, it went the distance. Game of best of 3, all 3 games were played, and then left time, or what am I saying? Overtimes, left, right, and center. I mean, this next one, I wouldn't be surprised if we go into overtime because we're going into Breeze, and this is an S2 Esports map, so I'm hoping that they will be able to close this one out, but not if you guys get paid's got something to say about it.
Yep. And before we head on to it, don't forget to check out our socials as well here at KJC Esports, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, our very own website, and even our Discord, !Discord, to stay updated with the Valorant scene in SEA, and maybe even more. As well as you can also check out our brackets. We are on the VLR.gg.
Also, this tournament is co-organized with Cyberport, the go-to creative digital community with a cluster of technology and digital content tenants in Hong Kong. Of course, it's sponsored as well by Vertigear, the top gaming chair brand trusted by many esports teams. Long hour, no back pain, comfortable chairs for home office and gaming. Get yours now at vertigear.com. And also, Coda Shop. Purchase app and game credits or vouchers online and choose from the most convenient payment methods in the Philippines. With Coda Shop, you have instant and guaranteed delivery. Now, we're going into the champion select, or rather agent select here. Again, what are you expecting?
Yep, I'm always expecting someone to trap that hall side here in Breeze. Remember, in the Breeze, it's such a huge map to play in, and that hall side of the map is always such an interesting place to lurk into. Once you take control of halls as an attacker, there's always so many options for you to try and interrupt the A side. Going through the gate or going back around through the spawn and into the B side is even a possible.
Yeah, and speaking of halls, Sky is one of those agents that can just basically take control of that area pretty easily. Well, particularly because of all of Sky's abilities. The Trailblazer, the Guiding Light, and even the Seekers are basically designed to flush out anyone in that area. And I'm not surprised that Fade is locking that up on the attacking side. Chamber on Mikasa again as well. So that
Select
one,
your agent.
I'm not surprised to see because well, Mikasa just been super consistent with the operator plays. Will absolutely pan out and be a factor in this Breeze game.
Yeah, looks like a very interesting setup of recompositions we've got here. We even see Saikoro using up that Sova. So a little switch up from earlier's map where you see it was Fade was holding it was Saikoro was holding the Sky, but this time it's Fade now holding on to it. Of course, we see on our defender side, YGGP looking like they've got a classic composition when you try and interrupt Breeze. You got the Cypher to trap up. You got the Blaze on that Reyna for the long-range leers, while Cole just, of course, the Jet player, as Rexy picks up that Viper, and pretty much the most important controller of this map, Breeze. This is Viper.
Yeah, as to esports, I like that you mentioned the fact that they have a pretty interesting choice of agent composition. I mean, this is their map pick, so might be seeing something here that we have yet to see before, but we're here to see. It's all gonna boil down again once more into the start of the game. And of course, that is the pistol round. Seems like another B hit is in the works for S2 Esports real early on, and I'd say they've had a pretty good time so far, right? In the first game. This time, let's see if they're gonna be riding the momentum waves high.
It's a classic way to play when you've got a Chamber. Chamber usually lurks around somewhere in the map because he's got the Rendezvous with the TP out. Anyway, here we go. Mikasa getting spotted as well. He's got the Headhunter. He's going to get spotted by the recon ball, so they know there's one lurking at the same time. Blaze in the map, pushing up from the elbow side. Gets one, gets two, gets three, making it almost the fourth. Gets the dismiss. Not only one shot left to take Sakura out. That's a 4K for Blaze. What an opening from this man. He used to be just a Sova with the shots ever since from the yesterday's game, but this time around, they've put him on the duel list, and now he's making you've given him the potential to pop off.
Blaze is absolutely making a statement. Straight from Sova now down into the Reyna, and what an explosive start of the game right there. No hesitation whatsoever with that push. That just rewards him with the complete buy. Look at him, Vandal and heavy shields as well. And he might just pop off once more. I mean, he's got the most firepower in the entire game, and it's looking to defend B site once more, looking to split down, looking to push down in mid to elbow, but this time, everyone is steering clear of it from S2.
Yes, the esports are crumbling down here. This is just their eco round. Cold already getting the first shot onto Mikasa. That is the Marshall, so even just a body shot is enough to take out anyone without any shields to play with. Rexy, although does get Umine down, but he get backed up. There's Milawan taking out Ishtar, so they do open up the B side. They do get a plan going on for them. Blaze is the man here left to be holding on. He's got the Vandal and the full shields. One more shot here, and he's gonna get the Empress mode as well. He should be able to spot Paula as soon as... No, he turns the angle right at the nick of time. So now it's just who might be Cold who will be falling to him. You never know. Ooh, spans through the Viper smoke. Expects Milman to be holding out there. So now they finally start cleaning up the members of S2 Esports.
Miluan just had 0 HP, which is why Cold just helicoptered him out of there. So it's been easy 2-0 for you guys get paid. And man, I'm just so surprised still of the play that Blaze pulled off in the first round. So the next round, this is potentially have another game in our hands again. And if anything, I'm expecting this to go into overtime, calling it this early on, just so we don't get surprised later. But we'll have to wait and see. This is round number 3, so this is supposed to go in the way of S2 Esports.
This is S2 Esports map pick as well, Breeze, but so far Blaze has been shutting them down single-handedly, especially from that first round, first half. We've talked about S2 Esports picking up their own members, making their own star plays, but now YGP, they're showing up with their own, and look at this push coming out from the Hall side. It's Milwan who will be holding up. He does try to spam through, looking for some action, does pick up Paula down to red HP. Blaze the man who might spot him. Milwan gets the first shot in, trying to see get some more, but Blaze finally shuts him down, and now that kind of slows down the push coming up from S2 Esports, because now they know that someone has a potential lurk, and that Spike is still in no man's land. They're still trying to find any more of these picks that they can find. Saikoro as well. That's a good pick for them, taking out Cold. Ishtar getting spotted by the trademark here, trying to push up this B side, so now he has to back off again. Mikasa is now holding down the angle, but instead it's Ishtar who wins the duel close range with the Spectre. At the same time from behind, it's Blaze who tries to catch Saikoro, but Saikoro 180s him out. Rexy does trade him away. Now it's a 2v2.
Mid finally taken control by Rexy and Ishtar, but it's the B push that's about to commence, courtesy of Umind and Fade. Both of these members yet to find their first frag of the game, so they're looking to end this one on a high note. Cypher Traps will be there for information if they decide to push this up. Beautiful positioning from Rexy and Ishtar will now be signaled to push down in B.
30 seconds
Post plant we
left.
have in our hands.
Spike
2 versus
planted.
2. No duelist up available anymore. But you guys get
player
paid. But
standing.
Umind picks up Ishtar with just a Vandal. 1 versus 2. Rexy. At least there's no info, I believe, that of where he is at. So he will be spotted out now with the jumping peaks. 1 versus 2. Again, 2 angles to watch out for. And he will not even win the 1 versus 1 against Umind. So that's the first round going in the way of S2 Esports.
Yep. Unfortunately for him, he tries to drop down from that wall, and because of that, his aim, the punch from the drop of that aim just gets so scattered out. Umind will be able to finish him off, and that's the first round on the board for this first half for S2 Esports, hoping that they can find this momentum ongoing, but they've got to be careful now. Cold has picked up the operator, and we know how important the operator here is on the map, Breeze.
Awkward buy here for you guys get paid as Fat Boy receiving the short end of the stick there with just the Marshall, but can make it work still. See, Pala does get those shots when he needs to, but Cold, speaking of shots, doesn't get the connect onto Miliwan. An uncharacteristic miss right there down in Halls. Mikasa again down to lurk duty. Only a headhunter to work with, so not a lot of firepower to his avail, but same is true for Pala.
And right now, Cold is waiting to see if Miliwan tries to peek him again here in Halls. Oh, the timing is not there, though. When Cold tries to back away, that's when Miliwan actually made the push happen. And now he's got a better positioning over this corner, but now he's got nowhere to go. If Miliwan tries to walk peek into Cold here, if Cold just holds his angle, he will be able to take him out. But here we go. The A push is happening. He has to open up the door. He might get caught off guard. He does! Miliwan will get the shot, and that opens up the A side.
The op going away for the side of you guys get paid. That's absolutely
Spike
massive.
planted.
Gonna pave the way for the plan to come through as Umind presses the issue down in backside. Denies Pala of anything. It's all down to Blaze and Ishtar. Now Ishtar, Z-Man picks up Blaze, and they're just gonna fall one by one. The flawless to go in the works, and S2 Esports, they equalize, and they're gonna force a Nico.
Yep, and they get the upgrades as well for S2 Esports. Here you go, YGGP forcing the eco as you've mentioned. Let's see what kind of strat YGGP will try to give us, because this is just an eco round. And remember, this is Breeze. So many long-range battles happen here. They have to pick up the pace, maybe try to make the push happen, get real close to the heads of S2 Esports to try and get these shots. Mikasa, again, he's picked up the operator that Cold pretty much gave him away for them. So let's see what kind of push they will do here on the B side.
This is Mikasa we're talking about. You do not want to give him an op whatsoever. Look at that. Just picks up the first kill as they immediately take control of mid. B site is their target as of now. Pala is the only one here to offer up a bit of resistance. Oh no, doesn't work in the way of U-Mine as Pala picks them both up. Fade falls as well. 2 taps, 2 kills quite easily. At least Miliwan does have the ult to work with. And they will take control of site eventually as the plant now finally coming through. But Blaze, he doesn't get the shots off. Does get the connect, but not the kill as Cole leaves left all alone and gets taken out by Miliwan. As that's the 3rd round in a row actually for S2 Esports.
That is the streak, and that's the momentum being built up. This coming up round 6. This is a round that YGGP need to win to try and break the momentum to give us the game that we've always wanted. But S2 Esports, they look like they're not going to be backing off here. They got more strats to work with, and they will be working with the default once more to push up this middle side. Let's see if Cold can try to shut him down. He does not have the operator to play with, but he does have the rifle.
Gotta be ready for this. You guys get paid, because this is the 2nd time in a row that S2 Esports are going for the mid push with the op watching out for those angles. Cold will be the one in that's gonna do the dirty work this time, as he's hearing everyone make their way down into tunnels. And there you go, he's not checked out. Oh no, but he doesn't get the shots. He does get one, finally gets the other. That spike control being claimed, but you guys get paid. But that was pretty scary for a second for Cold.
My heart was burning there as he started shooting them out. But still, Spike has now under control of YGGP, so it's still a merit to say. He still got 2 frags before getting traded out, so only 3 members left for S2. Of course, Picasso still has the operator. Blaze has to be careful not to peek out of this middle side, because if he does, he will fall to that operator holding the angle. Recon ball is there. Immediately gets shot down. Will not be able to get any angles or information, but they do know that 2 persons try to shoot that start down. Speaking of angles, Mikasa spots them from behind, gets Rexy. Blaze, though, is prepared with the shot, gets him from behind. He tries to get shot down by Saikoro, but Blaze has the dismiss to work with, and now it's a 1 versus 2 situation now as Saikoro falls. Miliwan left alone. He has the spike now finally, but 30 seconds left on the clock. He has to get on the side.
He can still go for the A push here. I mean, it's wide open, but he's got no clue that Pala is holding down McDonald's right now, so he's gonna push up in B site anyway. 14 seconds and counting. Might just walk into the crosshair right here. Fortunately, there's enough cover to work with for the post plant and the plant to come through. Again, this is 2 members. He gets spotted out as well by the recon, and he's got to push up. He's got to reposition himself. He hears the footsteps. He spots one, but doesn't win it against Pala. And now you guys get paid 3-3.
And here comes the equalizer. Unfortunately for Miliwan, Pala just makes the timing work with just makes the sidestep, makes the bullet miss up. They do pick up the operator. They will save it for Cold. Cold will finally take his op, but this next round is going to be very interesting, because although YGP won that round, they won't have the full bank that they'd want to have all their utilities on the work with, although Blaze will still have light shields. He has the Reyna, he has the Empress, he's got the VAR as well anyway. He doesn't need his heavy shield. He's a Reyna, he's fine. But at the same time, for both of these sides, we have ults on the ready.
Yeah, and one of those is Mikasa's tour de force. Been absolutely amazing with those 1-tap shots. Cold will be benefiting from that operator that Mikasa basically gave him in the last round. Halls, though, is where the action is happening this time around, as Blaze is the one to try and hold them off. Does have the Empress at the ready, but I don't think they know that he's there. Blaze again with the ninja angle. He does get the shot eventually on the bait. Dismisses to safety, so he can double dip here again.
Yep, and double dip he does, thanks to the little door opening coming out from Rexy as well. The Viper in control of this A side, and now they've got full control of this A side. The push from S2 Esports have been slowed down. That's fade down. That's the Sky with your flashes and
Yeah.
Seekers out of the picture for this next half.
And speaking of Fade, it's just not having the best of games. Yet to find a single frag in this entire game, and doesn't even get to commit the ult this time around. And Cold with the op, a menace to deal with. And now Umine is just stuck here. He gets that's info being given away. He's being pummeled through the wall and snake bitten. Fortunately, will be able to move out of the way, but Mikasa doesn't, as Cold
One
picks him
enemy
up.
remaining.
No tour de force for you this time, as Psycho
30
left to his
seconds left.
own devices, waiting for Cold to peek that angle, but time is just slowly ticking away. He does have the spike, and he's an
my.
island right now again. And he sneaks through. Fortunately for him, this is a horror game right now. Doesn't have any info apart from Cold. He does spot out another.
10
So
seconds
1
left.
versus 5, remember. So he might just be able to pull this one off. He gets one, the other, and now he's gonna get the plant off on this 1-on-3.
Scanning ahead.
Spike planted.
Beautiful ninja play coming up. Psychoro sneaks past 2 of their members, gets behind enemy lines. Now he has to just play for the post-plant situation, but the spray is not connecting. Rexy will finish him off. It was a nice try, really scary for them, but still 4-3 now. Of course, someone will get this round, and it will be YGGP.
Absolutely. And of course, Blaze and Cold, the only 2 members to fall in that round for their side were, of course, the ones with the most frags. The op on one hand, the beautiful angle from Blaze on the other. I mean, at some point, you gotta start questioning these unchecked angles by S2 Esports, because that was a misplay from Fade that made that first kill happen by Blaze. But it's not that bad yet for S2 Esports, as they're only trailing by 1 round. And they still have enough in the bank to go for the full buy on top of the op for Mikasa. So they might just be able to turn this around right now.
Yeah, they're playing for, once again, their default for S2 Esports. They've been doing this every single time at the start of the map. Getting the push up into this middle side, and the 2 members ready. Wait for the B lobby side. Beautiful shotgun from Umine. That will open up the B side, so they will just completely push up. Although the Hunter Fury is there to try and slow them down. Ishtar is held down. The counter Hunter Fury will shut him down. Psychoro getting the frag as well. Trying to find more information, and now looking like we're going back and forth with these rounds, Data.
And S2
There they are.
Esports, they got 2 kills and no answer for it. So, no, actually, Empress activated by Blaze.
One enemy
Makes the magic
remaining.
happen once more. It's just like not, because he gets easily shut down by Umine. Gets the next one as well onto Rexy. So right there and then, S2 Esports equalize. It's a flawless, no less. Again,
Yeah, we've been waiting for that Empress since the start of round 2 where he got it. But finally, he does show it up. But apparently, it's going to be way too tall of an order to try and push up that B side, because there were so many of the members of S2 Esports already ready for their post-plan situation, already prepared and sitting for their crossfires. So now that equalizes the score once more, 4-4 now for both of these teams. But the bag is not looking good for our boys of our You Guys Get Paid, because Ishtar's just holding on to that Spectre.
I've got your trail.
oh, Blaze opens it up
Spike
though.
down
He
A.
picks up the Empress and spike control, but Mikasa, of course, with the op, no less. They're gonna pummel Blaze down in this A side. At least he's got backup in the form of Cold. Finally, they'll be able to take care of that Reyna, but it's still a 2 versus 3. Cold and Ishtar, the last 2 members standing for You Guys Get Paid. And it's gonna be the plant coming through,
Spike
so
planted.
they have a lot of work ahead of them. Cold at least does have, Cold and Ishtar both have their ults up and running, or up and available.
One enemy
But
remaining.
no health means that Mikasa will easily spot out, take out Cold. Next one, Ishtar falls as well, Ishtar rather. And that's 5-4, and slowly they're inching forward and ahead.
And this time around, this time for sure, they will be picking up the momentum, because it's an equal round for YGGP. Unfortunately for them, the plant did come down for that spike, and it is so difficult to try and open up the to try and push up a post-plant situation, because they will be held up, hiding in their corners. Unless you've got the utilities to try and flush them out, it will be near to impossible to try and dry peek them at all.
That is absolutely true. And speaking of dry peak, I think that's the only thing that's taken up for right now. GP, they got very little Very little util to work with as Ishtar falls, easily paving the way for the plan to come through down in B side. Cold activates the blades, but it's Mikasa who picks up the next kill. Oh! Beautiful rendezvous to scoot out of there as he picks up Cold as well.
Last player
Mikasa
standing.
again with the consistency of this man. Mikasa with the 3K, looking for the next one with just a headhunter, and it's another flawless again. As to esports, they're taking over this game.
Yeah. You know they're on the driver's seat. You know they've got the confidence when Mikasa pulls out the headhunter instead of the operator to take these long-range battles. But this time around, maybe YGGP will try to answer back at them because they've got the rifles, they've got the full binds, they've got utilities to work with. That last one was just their eco round. They were just pushing up, trying to find anything that they can find for that damage and maybe an upgrade. But now 6 rounds on the board for S2 Esports. They're looking comfortable for their first half.
Absolutely. And of course, Mikasa still on the up. 3 rounds in a row, looking for the 4th one. And it seems like there's very little response for you guys get paid because look at the bank from S2 Esports. They could spare the next 5 rounds and a half because almost everyone's got max creds. They're looking for the push down in A side. This is something that they haven't opted for in a while. It might prove fatal to them as Ishtar picks up the first against you mind, backs off the safety. Fade doesn't flash anyone off, so Ishtar, he can still dip here, looking for the next one, but no, Miliwan spots him out, and that's Wicked going down, and the plan supposedly, but Blaze got nothing to say about it. P picks up Miliwan as well, so that's the pin going away. Cold dips in, and Blaze closes it out, 5-6. S2 Esports, they get denied the plant.
YGGP finally
round
starting to
before the
adapt
switch.
to the strats that S2 Esports have been doing. Usually they put Ishtar on that B side holding down with the Cypher, but this time they changed things up. They have caught S2 Esports off guard, putting the Cypher on that A side where Umine was not expecting the Tripwire to be holding down the angle on the pyramids.
I'm actually quite surprised that you guys get paid. Pulled that off so cleanly, and part of it is because Ishtar just held on for so long in that angle in A site. Seems like A again is the target for S2 Esports, but they're taking a different approach, taking control of halls, and this is what they opted for a couple of rounds ago. It did the work for them beautifully, but of course it was with the help of Fade on that flash. But Mikasa, the op, of course.
You want to play?
He
Let's
opens
play.
it up, gets the B side, but Cold just sneaked past. He's still holding down the elbow side. They don't know, although they should be wary of it, but they don't know that someone is actually here close up already. Cold will hear all the stuff, but Umine with the Blade Storm just runs and guns him down with the knife in hand. Only 2 members left for YGGP, and now Miliwan is making a lot of noise, making enough of the time to hold back the rotations. So Miliwan will just be the man, the bane, the thorn of the side here for YGGP.
There goes the Empress though, being activated by Blaze. It's a 1 versus 5 again, and just gets tapped by Mikasa.
Empress, not long, short-lived.
Switching sides.
We wait so long for Blaze to activate the Empress, and whenever he does, it's just so anticlimactic. It's unfortunate for him every single time that it just hasn't worked out in Blaze's favor. I mean, don't get me wrong, Blaze is having a blast at this game. He's got the most frags in the entire game, but the Empress just it seems like he's been opting for it as sort of a last resort, which is the right idea, but fortunately circumstances have not permitted Blaze to capitalize the most off it, so they will be trailing a little bit here, but no matter. It's just 2 rounds. It's a little bit better than the last game.
Yeah, earlier it was 8-4, but this time around it's 7-5. Remember, this is S2 Esports map pick. So far, they've got the advantage. So let's see if they can keep that advantage on the defender side. Looking like YGGP will be pushing up really fast here on this A side.
Another Hall's push here in the works.
Oh, hello.
So a hit nonetheless. Al Drone does spot out Umine, so he's gonna tailwind away. That's the dash exhausted. And he gets leered off. Rex quite easily picks up Miliwan as well, opening up that A site wide. Casa this time will not be permitted to take Cycro, who does get the trade. 2 on 3, and they're seemingly making it work. Get the knife fade. It's a 1 versus 3, but no, Cold just takes him out. 6-7, and they close the gap here. You guys get paid.
Yep, gap has been closing. This is the round that they absolutely needed to win, and they did. Looking like we're gonna be equalizing once more, Datum, to the 7-7 score here. Another close matchup between these two teams. I wouldn't be surprised if we opt for an overtime, but remember, this is just the start of the second half. We still have yet to see the strats to be shown for both of these teams. So looking forward to that for our second round of this second half. It's going to be the bye round for YGGP. Let's see if the defense with the Sheriffs and the Shorty from Fade of S2 Esports will do any kind of damage.
Well, let's not count our cards as of yet again, because you know what, Mikasa doesn't have the op yet, so this might be the reason why S2 Esports are still not finding their groove on this defense. But after all, this is the pistol round, the eco round for them. So I wouldn't expect Mikasa to pop up anytime soon, or anyone from S2 Esports for that matter. A site action is now happening as both toxin screens have been laid out in this particular area. Plant now coming through, no one falling as of yet. So that's going to be the post that retake. But Blaze is the one to overdrop with 2 kills against Fade and Liluan. You mind?
Oh!
Go Mikasa
Player
though with
standing.
the shots. Doesn't get the next one off, leaving Psycho all alone with just a classic and the single kill so far. But again, there's too many going on against him. He does spot Blaze out on that angle, and with the gun deficit that he has, he's certainly not gonna win that. But great damage for S2 Esports picking up 3.
Yeah, that was a huge lurker move from Mikasa. Almost getting 2 from that, getting behind enemy lines, but only gets 1, but that's enough damage for them, taking 3 of the opponents from YGGP. So now YGGP will be opting. Although 3 of them lost their lives, that means 3 of them have a chance, a potential to hold on to 3 rifles. Although Ishtar will still be playing with that Sheriff, they will be playing for the bonus round. 7-7 is the score. This should be the round for S2.
Absolutely, but keyword there again is should be. And the way these two games have panned out so far, I don't know. Anything could just happen between these two teams. They're just so closely matched, and I love it. We're getting more than what we paid for, and it's just mind-blowing. Blaze, though, leading the charge down in halls. Got a lot of control already, but rotations have now made their way through in this area. Drone spots 1 out, but Blaze still unaccounted for it, so might push this up.
Yeah, the drone is there. The gate should open very soon here. Yuman's holding a very powerful angle, but he gets leered off! The timing of that leer, just perfect. Follow will shut him down. Fade, though, does finally take out Blaze, but Coach is there to give him the trade. Milawan now trying to see what he can find, but finally falls to Cold. Mikasa again another trade, but a retrade comes in. Rexy is the man left to try and take him out. Now it's all down to Saikoro.
All down to him, like you said, and S2 Esports, they
So much for
faltered.
keywords.
Yeah, they faltered this round. That's uncharacteristic of him. Rexy picks up Saikoro as well. So, oh my gosh, it's 8-7 and no bank at all for S2 Esports. So, like you said, Gen might be in it for the long haul. I'm gunning for game 3 here.
We might be seeing it back to the classic Haven map that we've always been seeing in our quarterfinals. But here we go. Full rifle is still on the board for YGGP, and this time around, we're gonna have only pistols for S2 Esports. They tried their luck with their rifles last round, but unfortunately for them, the strat for YGGP, their default to push up that A split is just too strong for them. They have yet to adapt to it.
We were there though again is yet. So both teams they've been pretty good at adapting to each other's play style. But Mikasa, what is he doing right there? It's momentum. You can clearly see that it's slipping away from S2 Esports, and it's showing. No gun upgrades to find their way. Picks up Pala, but will not be permitted the Vandal. So still a huge manpower and firepower advantage for you guys get paid. You mind, of course, does have just the Marshal, so as long as he gets a dink, he gets a bit of damage onto the hands of you guys get paid. They are
One enemy remaining.
Cold spots 1 out. I don't think he saw Saikoro, so he'll be backing off, but it's still a 1 versus 4. Not a lot he can do right here, and time for the break. He won't be able to do anything at all. Ishtar picks him up 9-7, and we are back to a 2-round lead. This time for you guys get paid.
Yep, unfortunately for Saikoro, once again left alone. His Kokoro just cannot make it and make it work for the clutch situation. And now, but this time, Mikasa, as you've mentioned before, he picks up the operator. Maybe this time, this is the round that S2 Esports will pick up. We have yet to see their star players from all 5 of them from the team to show up here coming up there.
Three huge ults to work with though for Blaze and the gang, and one of those is the Viper Spit, and the other is Blaze's Empress, a very unique Empress at that. But this time around, you guys get paid. They have the upper hand, so this might pan out differently for Blaze. And nah, just as I was talking about it, because gets the shot onto that Reyna.
Yeah, and there goes the unique Empress mode that we've always been wanting to see. And Mikasa once again takes control of the whole side. He knows one person is there, so he might take the pop shot. Timing almost hits, but still, Rexy will be able to get away there. At the same time, more shots happening on the B side in the middle, where they do clear it up, but still, it's a man advantage for S2 Esports.
All thanks to Mikasa's op. Once more, they found their groove, it seems like, and the S2 Esports, all they have to do is hold on to their angles. Mid, though, is wide open for the attackers here. That's you guys get paid. Rexy making some noise down in A site. Aren't budging, though. Which means that Miliwan will be taken out quite easily in A site, so they're gonna get this plant off.
Yep, and again, it's now a 2 versus 3 situation. Both teams have one player on the red HP, so that red HP is going to have to be super careful, especially if Sekiro pulls out a shock dart right in the middle of Cold. If Cold gets shocked there, yeah, he's going to feel very cold 6 feet under.
Let's see. Cold does have the blades at the ready, but red health at this moment, so it's going to take a lot of work for him to secure this round out. At least they don't have any info where he's at. He gets
standing.
one before falling, before biting the dust. Leaving Pala all alone. He reveals himself with those arrows, buying a bit of time against Humind. And actually, Mikasa's so far off, so this might work out in favor of Pala, and it does! It's gonna be 10-7, double digits in the works for YGGP, and they didn't even commit a single ultimate to that.
All 5 of the ultimates, even from both of these teams, almost all on the ready. Pala just had to get that one kill, and immediately he was able to back away because he gets the Hunter's Fury ready on the ready. And with that, that spike will pretty much explode no matter what. 10 now on the board for them with a 3-round advantage. All they have to do is keep this momentum going. Mikasa does back away. He's only got 20 HP. He knows shock darts are coming, and Hunter's Fury is almost ready. So all they have to do is commit to hopefully Cold try to shuts that down, but that's all. I mean, Humind can shut that down, but that's all he can do. So let's see if Mikasa can try to do any damage here with his operator. This man is the one to try and open up for his team to maybe win this eco round.
I'm quite surprised that he opted for the op and not the Tour de Force, but an op is an op is an op is an op here again. And seen Mikasa pop off quite consistently with the op this time. Doesn't get tagged. Oh, he does get tagged and taken out by Pala. But a beautiful shot from Humind to answer it. Still leaves them with a mana deficit for now. Make that, double that up. 2 versus 4 now as Rexy catches Humind off guard. Pala now pushing up, down in cave. Side throw just in the nick of time. Turns away, so he'll be paying big time for it. And Miliwan does get one. Does get Rexy, but it's hard to imagine that he can clutch this one out against 3 members.
You never know. This is Miliwan we're talking about. He is the Viper. He's got a toxic screen as well on the ready. He has yet to use that. And he's on the Viper's pit just in case you really want to. But here we go. He's on the clutch situation. 9 bullets left on that Vandal. He has to reload that very soon, but he's opting not to do it because he's going to give away his information, his positioning here. But does it matter? Because YGGP is holding every single angle, especially with Ishtar with his camera.
2 of them are looking where he's gonna come from, and Blaze just quicker with the trigger against Miliwan. So now 11-7. This is a very different story from the last game. It's you guys get paid with a 4-round advantage and still the Viper's pit to work with. Cold picks up the op again, and Mikasa will be there to respond with the Tour de Force. So still, this is still a savable game by S2 Esports as long as they deny this one, as long as they deny the match point and secure this round, because after this, their bank is going to be completely broken. And it's going to be match point already. There's not a lot you can do against that. So Mikasa, my eyes are on this guy to pick up the first kill, but he's just not watching the right angle.
And unfortunately for him, YGP has been hunting him down, especially with the Aljo and the Recon Ball. They've been scanning him out, and every single time he has to back away because of this. Miliwan committing the Viper Spinner on the A side, but it's awkward positioning as well. And Fade from the push in that middle side finally takes out the operator from the opposing team as well. That gives them the man advantage. We might see S2 Esports finally getting their first round on the second half.
Oh, you mind picks up Ishtar. There's the response, but actually Miliwan falling there is going to be massive. I'm gonna call for the rotations from everyone, including Mikasa. Fortunately, they bought enough time to get the plant off and get their positions, but the Viper's Pit is something to work against. That's gonna be so hard here for S2 Esports. Mikasa, how did he get that kill against Rexy? He picks up Blaze as well. Human tops it off to close it out, and S2 Esports, they're back in this game again.
And that is the momentum breaker we've got here. Although YGP's got the bank to play with, you gotta give perks to Mikasa. I've just mentioned this is the man to watch. If he gets the shots in, he gets the shots connected, we will see a match in our hands. Finally, S2 Esports back on the board. Finally gets one round at least on this second half. Let's see if they can continue this momentum and continue their shots off here.
How did he get that kill against Miliwan? I mean, not Miliwan, but Rexy, man. How? I'm losing my mind here again. Okay. 11-8. One from match point. You guys get paid. They're being blocked here by Sports. At least they have Bank still to work with, but they have an op to watch out for. This time in the hands of Umind. A quick switch from the op player here, from Mikasa to Umind. So this is quite expected. He does get one before falling. That's Halls being controlled by Ishtar, the gang, and the op upgrade as well. But they do not get the plant off as of yet. At least they've got site control, so it's only a matter of time.
Unfortunately for them, they take out Blaze. Blaze is the only flash that YGP has. Something they were lacking last map. That's how S2 Esports were able to take advantage of them every single time they had a flash. But the plant will be coming down, as you said, but it's a post-plant situation. It's going to be so difficult for defenders to try and open this up, especially Rexy holding down the angle here. Mikasa might be trying to check this little inching by inching, little by little. There we go. There's a check, but at the same time, Rexy makes a sidestep and wide peaks and gets the angle correct. This is going to be the match point for YGGP.
Oh! Gets blinded, but it don't matter for Rexy. He is sexy with the shots. 12-8, match point. And you guys get paid. They're looking to take us into game number 3. Such a clean round for them. Beautiful things to start things off, and Rexy to close it out as well. This time, Ishtar's feeling the confidence as he picks up the op. Well, because they do have the bank to work with, and it's basically a free upgrade from last round. But you mind, he looks to offer up some resistance. Mikasa doesn't have the same luxury though. It only has the headhunter to work with this time around. So this is looking like a done game for you guys to get paid.
Let's see what they can try to do here. Remember, it's Yulemind with the Umbra, and he's looking at the right angle. Unfortunately, Yulemind does fall. There's a first frag kill in the way. Gets a cloud burst, but too late because Cold has got the shot already. It's like a 3 versus 3 now. Cold's not done opening it up, taking Saikoro down, but Mikasa with the headhunter. It doesn't matter if you don't have a rifle. Oh! Gets another quick tap onto Cold through the corner. It's still very doable for S2 Esports. Mikasa will try to finish him off. Rexy peeks into him. That will be the defuse. We're still in the game.
Oh my gosh, again, if chat could see my face, well, that was happening. Oh my gosh, Mikasa. It's still match point again.
The blood.
It's still match point here, right? I mean, surely you guys get paid. Surely they'll close this one out, right? I mean, their bank is still there. They've still got everything to work with. But man, when Mikasa's in the game, you can just never count them out. And Umind, of course, has been consistent with opening up the rounds with the operator. I like this switch up of the operators onto Umind's hands. Just opens up Mikasa to play a little bit more flexibly than just holding on one side with just the op. It's working out so well for them, but still they're at a huge pressure point and zero room to work with.
Yeah, Mikasa is feeling himself right now with the shots of this rifle, so now he will be opting for more of these rifles, especially that sexy headhunter earlier in the last round. But let's see if S2 Esports can try to find an opening here.
Oh, they don't. Mikasa has been shut down easily by Cold this time, opening up B side. They had so much faith in Mikasa holding on to B side, but he doesn't, and he gets shut down by Cold. And this might be it again. This might be the game-ending round for you guys to get paid.
One more Mikasa to try and save the day here. And at the same time, it's Rexy as well from the lurk positioning. This man's gonna catch so many members of our defenders here from S2 Esports. This might just be game. We might be looking at map 3 right here, right now, unless they try and clutch this out here for the members. Rexy's gonna catch them off guard from behind. That is gonna be the heartbreaker for S2 Esports. And an easy round, easy take here, easy pulse plant. That is the game here for our map 2. Ishtar will finish them off by spraying them down. 13-9 is our final score, and we're going to a map 3.
Yep, we're going to Haven again, and I'm super stoked for the next one because this game is just. This series is just the gift that keeps on giving. We're getting all the pop-offs, and at the end of the day, it's actually not Mikasa that's the MVP. It's Blaze who does get it just by a hair, and it just goes to show you that both of these teams, they're very, very competitive and they're very closely matched. We've been throwing the spotlight so much on Mikasa just because of the single-handed amount of work that he's been doing for his team. But you guys get paid. They showed us that not only can they keep up, but they can top it. They take game number 2. Stay tuned, folks, because game number 3 is just around the corner. My name's Datum Casting here today with Gen. We'll see you guys after the short break. Welcome back, folks. This is the last game of the night between You Guys Get Paid and S2 Esports. You're still watching Updraft by KJC Esports, joined by Datum and Gen. And this matchup, Gen, I mean, I'm losing my mind over these players. They're all correct. And in Haven, I expect no less from them.
Yeah, they've been going back and forth every single round, risking the ecos, risking the big buys. It just goes, you just never expect what can happen here. All of these teams, they show up. Mikasa getting just amazing shots coming out, as well as Cold and the rest of the S2 team as well. This is season 1 of our Updraft. Every week, 100 USD winner takes all. This is week 2 of our season. Check out our socials to find out more. If you want to give it a shot yourself, it is also free registration, !Discord, to get more information about the tournament. And while you're at it, we'd like to thank our official gaming chair sponsor. If you're going to sit down the whole day anyway, might as well get yourself a high, comfy, density foam coffee ground fiber with smooth, soft glide casters, comfort, design, Vertigear, not to mention with upgradable RGB kits. We're also having a giveaway, giveaway sponsored by Coda Shop. There are 3 giveaways we are having. 5 people will get a chance for $20 US worth of Valorant points, and 1 lucky winner will get $100 US worth of Valorant points. But that's not all. A big giveaway for all those in Singapore, the one and only Vertigear gaming chair. Special thanks to our co-organizer Cyberport as well. This event wouldn't have been made possible without them.
Yeah, that was a mouthful right there, again. Can we take a moment to applaud again here, chat? Thank you. Anyway,
Let's go back to the game. Yeah.
going back into the game, we are headed straight for Haven, and the agent comps, they're looking spicy here again. Fade showing up with the Breach and Mikasa with the Omen as well. And I want to see a Brimstone here, but it seems like we're not going to be getting one, as the Astra is what Rexy actually opts for.
A classic Astra play, but without the Breach to combo it up. Instead, the Breach is over onto the other side where Fade is holding on to it with Mikasa's Omen. So they've got make that 3 flash. Wait a minute, I've seen this before. I've seen this competition before yesterday in the quarterfinals when we had Haven.
I'm actually quite surprised that they do not have the Sova. This is something that they are planning. This is not something that they just decided to show up with. This is probably something that they've been practicing for months on end. We're going to be seeing it right now. The Killjoy, of course, isn't the go-to for most teams, but they're going to be taking it for that extra bit of damage. A lot of utility for their side. And of course, Mikasa, actually not on the chamber. Instead, goes for the controller this time around. So, this is already looking to be a pretty interesting game again.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of flashes and a lot of mid-presence coming out from S2 Esports. With the amount of flashes they've got, they can enter up any of these corners and flush out these players every single time. Let's see if our attackers can try and pace up with the defenders here. S2 Esports versus You Guys Get Paid. Who will take map 3?
Oh, they're pushing up again down in B. I mean, there's one member waiting for them, and that's Ishtar, but might be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of number of enemies that he might be facing soon. He does back away for now, but you mind and the gang, they're looking at the proper angle. C site is going to be the area of action soon, as the plant now coming.
Oh, look at the positioning from the team here. They're all 3 of their members already right behind them. They're going to run into them. Get the first round. Looking for more. Gets a beautiful headshot with that sheriff as well. But Cold Blaze are looking for more of the trades. But Saikora again, another shot in. Here comes the gravity well. This will slow down the push. Rexy still holding down to the cubby side. They've got Blaze hiding from the garage. The spike is planted for the long plan. But the long is not under their control. It's up to Blaze now to try and take this back. He gets the bar. He gets one more shot in. But Saikora will finally shut him down. A beautiful push coming out from S2 Esports.
S2, you said it yourself, a beautiful pistol round right there. I mean, Blaze and the gang, You Guys Get Paid. They were ready for the push, but they wasn't expecting 3 members to come up from behind, which is why when they picked up the first frag, they were unable to recuperate. And the last two members that was lurking or flanking, for that matter, was the ones to able to close the round out. Psycho and YouMind was massive with those headshots, and they're set up pretty good on this second round. Let's see if they're going to opt for the same type of shenanigans.
This is a classic situation when you got a Breach Jet combo. Breach will pretty much fault line up through this A lobby, and that's when YouMind will be able to get some information and push up. Will the Asha be able to gravity well him out? Looks like it doesn't even matter because they're making a quick push here into this B side. They're actually being denied by the crossfire being set up right here by Fade and Mikasa.
Yet to find anything though, but that's a utility not coming down. It's both Fade and
Spike
Mikasa that
down,
falls.
B.
Milliwan with a singular response, Cold down to 20 health, and without spike control, this round doesn't look too good anymore. For the side of you guys get paid, but at least they were able to retrieve the spike, and now they're recuperating.
Yep, and they're back on a reset. 4 versus 3 now. Both of these teams, they pretty much the attackers here. YGP, they've started off with this eco, but they've got free upgrades of their own. The 2 Spectres as well to play with. Now they're all both pretty much forced up for both of these sides. 1-0 is the score, still in favor of our defenders, S2 Esports. But let's see, looking like YGP will try to equalize the score right here and now.
Seems like they will as 3 members pick up the Spectre upgrades. Looking to split B side once more. Umind is right here. All it takes is 1 shot because very few have farmers. On the side of you guys get paid. Milliwan gets taken out, and this round it's snowballed out of the hands of S2 Esports as the team ace makes its way through, and the scoreline is now 1-1 again.
And that is the equalizer for our match. And then we're back on a secondary one. This is the eco test time round for SU Esports, and it's going to be the bonus round. Well, not yet the bonus round, but the big Spectre round for our attackers, YGGP. Maybe this time they can take the momentum because they are the attackers here on Haven. Haven, whenever you're up on Haven, the defenders will always be stretched out thin. But S2 Esports, they know how to gamble up their sides. They usually just leave one side alone. Killjoy's toys will be there to get some hold off anyway. And with that, looking like the push will be coming out here in this A-long split.
This setup from S2 Esports, it's just so ballsy. They're leaving Seaside wide open, but it's not gonna work because Milliwan just fell against that Cole that's leading the charge down in Garage. So that Seaside easily taken control of, but you guys get paid, and there goes the response eventually, but it's just another
Spike
eco
planted.
for the side of S2 Esports, and they haven't really found a lot out of it.
Fade's with the shorty. He's going to be looking for a star. Star barely gets away with it. Now Fade has to opt back into the Classic because now he's going to be fighting off in the long-range support. Sakura is the man with the Sheriff. He's also got the Seekers ready very early on in this game. Looking to see if he can try to wallbang Pala out, but Pala's sitting tight there in the corner with his bow up in the sky. Blaze will get the first frag. Fade actually from behind, but Blaze will easily clean them up. That's the Spectre round. Upcoming up is now should be the bonus.
Absolutely should be the bonus once more again, but it is finally the guns making their way into the hands of S2 Esports. Mikasa have yet to find his footing like he has in the last couple of games where he's just popping heads left, right, and center, and part of it is because of his choice of agent. I mean, the Omen, yeah, sure, it's a very flexible agent, can get into spots where typically most agents cannot, but doesn't really have that escape tool that the Chamber has. Umind, though, with a nasty shot onto Cold, starts things strong for S2 this time around. But Ace side, they're looking undeterred. Umind's pressing the issue here, pushing up a little bit more closely as he picks up the 3K already. Blaze falls, and one by one, they're lining up for Umind's crosshair.
remaining.
And now, he's one away from the ace, and he's looking for it again.
Yep, and Mikasa spotted Rexy running around, and now he knows this is a shot, and he will be falling very soon, but Rexy stays alive with the Spectre! Long range, red HP for him, but he will be finally cleaned up by FaZe here. There we go. That's the shot, and that is the clutch. And that is the bonus round for our S2 Esport fans. They're 2-2 now. They've equalized the score. They still have the guns, and they should still be able to buy up. There we go. Gives them the weapon for Mikasa. And now, we've got a game on our hands. Now is the time where the game gets hot here, when both of these teams has the rifles in play, and the score is equalized.
It's if you think about it, it's kind of funny that Umind popped off there because this might be the start of the same tune that we saw in the past couple of games, where each and every round it's one member at a time that S2 Esports pops off, and this time it seems like it's Mikasa that will be pummeled by so many members of you guys get paid. He will get pre-fired actually down to quite low health, so no popping off for him as of yet, but does still have the paranoia, so still an avenue for him to get those frags.
Yep, and they've pushed up Umind with the fault line and the guiding light very close up to this A side. Umind hears every information, everyone running close to him. So that will give them the information that they will be pushing up. Blaze is not watching the angle. Yumai will get the shot. He has a tailwind away. There we go. That is the power of the Jet, and he will get out of jail free card, and that gives him the man advantage.
Blaze falling off of that one. Not gonna be permitted to use that, excuse me, Empress this time around. As actually the members of you guys get paid, still recuperating from that kill. Cold does get the headshot onto Psycho, opening up B side. Now pressing the issue from behind C. And now it's Mikasa and Miliwan to run for the hills, but they will get spotted out. Mikasa is there for the trade though. Still a 2-on-4. Miliwan doesn't get the shot onto Ishtar. That's the game. That's the round-ending mishap right there for S2 Esports, as this time around, it's still you guys get paid to come out on top.
Yep, they tried their best for S2 Esports to pick up their strat, try and open it up for their Jet Umind to open up in this A-long side. They do, but that's all they get because YGGP is quick to recuperate and adapt in the middle of the game. They were able to retake that side over onto the C as well and get the huge lurk across the garage. This is the difficulty when you're defending on Haven. If you lose one of your members, it's going to be much more difficult to try and close up every angle that every attacker could push through.
Look at the adaptation from Miliwan. This time not so willing to give C-side control. Does use all of the utility down in C, but still hanging about in garage. But by this time, I would reckon that YGGP, they've caught up to this strategy. Just playing their cards very, very safely this time as they look to split B. Cold leading the charge.
S2 making a lot of distraction, especially with Uman opening up this mid side. They bait out the Aldron as well and gets a nice frag onto Cold as he backed away from the B side. And again, they're still alive. They have the regrowth ready for Psychoto. All Uman has to do is run to them with Fade as well. That's 2 birds in a stone. The 1 stone, 2 birds.
It is 2 birds in a stone again.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, here we go. Still, the positioning from Uman and the gang, pretty good considering the fact that they've got very little information on where the enemy team, YGGP, is at. They're all grouping up in A long. It's the game of cat and mouse right now, but they might potentially catch Ishtar right here, who is holding onto the spike, and if they take him out here, this might be catastrophic for YGGP. Thankfully, they do get the spray onto Umind, but from behind, Pala will spot them all out. Fade secures that shot, but after the fact, there's not really anything to follow it. Mikasa, Miliwan now how to recuperate, but the time is slowly ticking away. Will they have enough time to go for the plant? Yes, they eventually will. And Miliwan left to his own defiances on this 1v3.
Spike planted.
Yep, he's been spotted by the trademark as well. They know he'll be coming from the behind side, so all I have to do is hold their angles all together. It looks like they'll be hiding inside the Nebula as well. So get an easy frag for Blaze. There we go, headshot as well. Miliwan falls, and that is the eco round finally shut down by S2 Esports. Looking a little scary every single time. These rounds are always looking a little scary, but they do finally always close it off. And now we see Umind with this operator. We might see a cheeky push on this A side once more.
Absolutely. S2 Esports, they had the right idea right there. Just unfortunately didn't have enough firepower going in their way to secure that round off. If they had better guns, if they were permitted the upgrades, that could have turned out very, very differently for them. But props to them. That's complete adaptation every single round. This time they have the guns to work with. So I'm expecting them to play a little bit more safely, but Umind opening things strong for them. Pretty good sign for S2.
Yep, Uman has... How many first bloods has Uman already gone at this point? But again, it's the C-push coming up, and Mikasa gets a nice paranoia. That slows them down, and that gets an easy frag as well for Miliwan to take out Cold. Cold just tailwind right through the paranoia. So unfortunate for him. Alter is coming up, but at the same time, the spray down through the smoke. Rexy falls to Mikasa. He was expecting at least one more, pushing up the C side. He's still spraying through, so that pretty much shuts down the push from our attackers. YDGP, 5 members still alive on S2 Esports side. This operator has done so much damage at the start.
No one falls as of yet for S2 Esports. Ishtar and Pala, they got to watch every angle. They've got so many to account for. Psycho just being the first out of 5 members that they have to take out to secure this round. Miliwan, of course, still in garage for the entirety of this round. Will secure Pala. Will get traded out, but 1 versus 4. And he's looking to press the issue against Mikasa, and he does! Ishtar gets the shot off, Not against Fade from behind though, as S2, they halt the momentum from you guys get paid.
And there we go. We've seen this back and forth. If you look at the scoreboard, it's 1 win for S2 and then 2 wins for SGGP. So hopefully this is the round that S2 Esports can finally shut down that momentum of 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, because eventually you will lose if you keep up this momentum. Let's see if YGGP can try and keep it the same way and get 2 frags at 2 rounds of themselves here, because they have a bank to work with. All they have to do is win 1 more to keep the bank going.
Absolutely true, as Umine picks up the op. Again, the first bloods that this man has.
Oh.
This time from short. But really good read actually from Cold. Caught wind of that operator, will be backing off right now. Let's have the blades. Actually, a lot of ults for both of our teams, so this round could prove to be very expensive. But if this goes into the post plant, Fade does have a huge advantage with that Rolling Thunder. The question is, will we even get to that point with Mikasa holding on to C? He picks up 1, gets traded by Ishtar, but Cycro is good for 1 as well. So, man advantage for S2 Esports here. Cold pressing the issue. Oh no, bit of a mishap on that dash means that he will be punished quite easily after the fact, and now it's completely out of the hands of YGGP.
Yep. YGP, they tried to bait out the A rotations, putting Cloudburst and a bit of utility on the site, but S2 Esports, they were not phased at all. I mean, they've got Fade on their team and already pushing up to the B side, way too close. Middleman's already holding out the angle as well as Fade. It's just Blaze left alone, and Umine with the operator still holding down the A link. He will shut down the push. They equalize the score now, 4-4. No, 4-4 now for both of these teams.
Yeah, more importantly, again, they break the streak. They break the pattern that we've been seeing, the 1-2 combo. This time it's S2 Esports who does pick up 2 rounds in a row. Of course, Umine at the helm with that operator. And I like that you pointed out the fact that YGGP, they tried to go for the bait down in A. They just didn't go for the rotation S2 because they had complete information on A side, because the operator, remember, was holding on to short.
You want to play?
This time it's
Let's
holding on
play.
C long,
Get
so
out of my way.
it's not gonna catch anyone potentially this time around apart from Rexy, so he's gotta be careful of that angle.
Ooh, the timing. Umine scopes out the moment Rexy actually peeks his shoulder, and with that he will stay alive. And a lot of the action is happening on this A side, and the action is working out into frags. Cold with the Blade Storm as well as the tour de force from the chamber here from Ishtar. He are pushing up the angle, but Milowan gets a nice shot in. So that's Ishtar down. That's the Eco Agent God down. So now they have to count on this Blade Storm to get more frags for them.
Cosmic Divide still available for Rexy though if they decide to commit to this A push, and they do. They pick up 2. Stinger making it work for Pala as he picks up Paid. So that Rolling Thunder is now gone. It's all down to Umine and Mikasa with an op for Umine. At least there's an ult available for Mikasa, but this is an Omen we're talking about. Not a lot you can garner from that in this post-plant retake. He has so many angles to watch out for. He does take out Pala. Umine there for the response, so they might just go for this 1 versus 2 despite having the op only. Get denied by the right click. Cold picks up the 3K and the Thrifty for YGGP.
What a one tap with that Blade Storm coming out from Umine there. Immediately getting the frags in. I mean, Cold. So what a shot from them. That was just the eco round for our attackers, YGGP. What am I watching? They took out Milowan and Fade, the 2 big ultimates to retake the sides, the Lockdown and the Rolling Thunder. So unfortunately for them, they lose those, and now they're back. They're gonna have to go back to an awkward buy here. Half shields for Milowan and Mikasa, and Milowan's opting for just the Judge to play with because of how expensive his utilities are.
Absolutely, but he has been holding Garage for the entirety of this game, so it works out pretty well if you ask me. If they push out in Garage, this might prove to be fruitful for Milowan. There's gonna be an A in here. To start things off with the Aldrome. Umine with the fancy moves does survive for now, repositions himself above that box, so it still may be potentially an A hit here, but might be reassessing here. You guys get paid.
Yes, it's gonna be Milowan still holding on. Look at the positioning from Mikasa. Gets advanced
Spike down,
over onto the
C.
C long. So that will be an easy frag for him. Unfortunately for him, Blaze was able to dodge away the paranoia. And with that, they were able to push up on this C side. It will be Fade who will be having the angle. And Milowan holding down the Garage. And Milowan gets an upgrade as well, taking out Ishtar. And now they've got to be careful for Cold because he's trying to find what Milan is holding. At the same time, Fade pulls out the
Spike
Rolling Thunder to try
down,
and slow
C.
down this push on the C side. And now they've actually worked it out. Milan has actually sneaked past here. And now behind, Rexy is aware of this. He has to be careful. He knows
Last
someone got
player
past, but
standing.
not expecting them and
Spike
Dope
down,
to be that
C.
close. So now
enemy
Cold on
remaining.
1 versus 2. He
30
gets the
seconds
first
left.
shot in.
Hold up the
The
spike.
timing is there. He's got 30 seconds. He could run down this A side if he wants to because he's going to be handling an U-mid with the operator. And the shot comes through 5-5. Now they equalize the score.
What was that turn of events right there? A flank killed a flanker that killed another flanker. I mean, it's just these two teams are just giving it all they've got. They're fighting tooth and nail just to get the advantage round after round. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was S2 that secured that round, but look at their creds. They've barely got anything working for them apart from the op from Umind. And they're still going for the force buy here again.
And it looks like it's going to be a combo. Fade will be able to fault line this up. So this should be an easy positioning for Umind, especially since Cold has to hide away in the corner. Will Umind spot this or will he give up his angle? Because there's a lot of action elsewhere on the other side. He actually pings it. He feels it. He knows there has to be someone that has passed by. And look at this. Cold is making the angles and the shot connects. Cold will get an easy one through Umind's skull, and that shuts down the first blood and the operator, the biggest gun that S2 Esports had.
And the mind game right there between Cold and Umind was chilly. It was chilly. Now though, Blaze looking to make things a bit simpler down in B as he pushes up, takes control of it quite straightforwardly. Looking forward though, he doesn't have any clue that a breach is right behind him. So again, this might be another standoff we are about to witness. Spike paraded down into B, but remember, there is a man advantage for YGGP, so all they gotta do is watch the proper angles and get those trades off, unless there's a Cosmic Divide to watch out for. So now it just makes things a little bit easier for them on this post plant.
Yeah, just make it super difficult as well for the defenders S2 Esports. We even see Sekoro saving up that operator. Looks like he might just save it all the way because Blaze getting the first round, making that 3 frags. Sekoro now left alone, sees the dismiss, and he will be caught off guard by Cold. Wasn't even able to save that operator. It's gonna be a flawless round for SGGP. And
Last
guess what?
round
We're on
in
the
the
last
half.
round, and S2 Esports have no bank.
Absolutely, said it yourself. They weren't even able to secure to commit those 2 ultimates for how many rounds in a row now, because well, they're just getting mowed down round after round in terms of kills. Miliwan has been holding on to that lockdown for so long because he's yet to find himself in a spot where he could actually capitalize on that in the post plant, where we all know is where the lockdown is very good for on the defensive side. But fortunately for them, they're just 1 round behind. Very similar to the last game where it might be 7-5 in the score line. And this is an equal round for them, so this should go in the way of YGGP.
Yep, it is sort of an equal look like, but it is just their force buy because that's all they're gonna afford for in this last round. Umind getting flashed by the guiding light, unfortunately for them, but he is gonna try and peek up into more. They've got more flashes to work with. They got all the flashes to work with for Umind to make this peak with his late. They need to find these frags. They need to find these agents because they have to get the upgrades for his team to try and get some information and get the retake happening. Remember, the most important point here is Miliwan, but Miliwan has a shotgun to play with, so he's gonna be playing close up despite having the lockdown to play for a retake.
Well, look at the 3-man push happening down in sewers, though. We've seen this before, and it worked out in them. This one going to be no different. Psycho popping off with 3 kills. And this round, it's gone out of the hands of YGGP as Umind closes it out. And we are going into the second half. Not any
Switching
different
sides.
than the last 2 games. It is 6-6. It cannot be closer than this skin.
What just happened, man? Another weird force buy wins the round. We started the first map at 8-4. We started the second map at 7-5, and now we have equalized 6-6. Every single time the maps are getting closer and closer to each other. These 2 teams are hot on their trail, but remember, this is map 3 of a best of 3 series. These guys must be tired at this point, not just us, but let's see if they can try and recuperate this energy. Let's see what kind of strats they bring up here on this second half. We're looking at a fresh reset here.
You said that they're tired, but it's not. I am just I've been getting what is that? Adrenaline so many rounds now that I am just exhausted again. But going back to the game, Rexy fighting under the covers. Mikasa in front of him. He gets the shot off. Ishtar is there as well. So now the push is completely halted. You mind will be there to secure the spike control once more. But again, they're just
One enemy
finally
remaining.
gonna get it. The plant. No, they'll get denied by Cold. And he's pressing the issue. A quick start of the second half, courtesy of YGGP as they secure that pistol.
Yeah, YGGP taking a strat out of the playbook from S2 Esports, pushing up that C-long side. You know they know it happened to them. They will give it back to them twofold as they take that first round. And that will be the extra round now for YGGP. So they should have the advantage unless, of course, S2 Esports opts for the force buy that YGGP did the last half. But it looks like they will just be opting for the eco. They will be playing for the long game.
It seems like that's what both teams have been going for the past two and a half games. The long game. This entire series is the long game, but Ishtar looking to make things a little bit quicker. You mind? He just denies that as he equalizes the manpower once more with a single tap of the sheriff. So 4 versus 4. And Spike still in the attacker side spawn, but Rexy is slowly pushing up. He picks up Fade, so now again, it's an eco, right, for the members of S2 Esports, but we've seen them win ecos before. I can't see how this one's gonna be any different. They're slowly pushing up C again.
Oh, Mikasa was able to sneak through! And with the upgrade they took from Ishtar, Rexy will finally fall and they equalize the situation and they've got an extra upgrade of the Spectre on the C side. Who knows what could happen? This is the plant situation now. It's all up to Blaze. Mikasa was able to pass through him as well. He's going to be sneaked up all the way in. Blaze does no idea for this and he's the man who will be first holding up this garage side while the rest of the team pushes up C long.
I mean, at this point, why am I not surprised again that
They're not looking.
able to secure that pad, but actually checking Blaze, we'll get traded out, so still 2-on-2. It's still very, very
enemy
close.
No.
And they pick up the next one.
No.
Boy, Pala doesn't get anything, and Mikasa secures that 50 round basically. And we're back into equal footing again. Why am I not surprised?
Why are you not surprised? What am I watching? Back and forth. These guys are just fighting tooth and nail, 7-7 now. And now it's the other side that's going to be on the eco round. I wouldn't be surprised if they win it this time anyway.
7-7 is the score line, ladies and gents. And let's see if maybe YGP's got some tricks up their sleeves as well. They have won some 50 rounds a couple of rounds ago. Ooh.
Oh no.
There we go. They secured the first kill. So again, we might be in it for another 50 here.
Cold is still holding the angle. They have yet to check this angle. The Aldron's there to try and slow them down. They know they've got rifles to play with, so they're holding their angles. They're making sure that they peek into them where they have the advantage. Just one taps is all they need, especially since this is Cold. Cold has this is the jet. He's got the tail with the Cloudburst as well. Fade should be checking this. He will, but he gets distracted by the jump peaks coming up from Paula. And now they got a two-man advantage and an upgrade for Cold. He's got a Phantom to work with. Shakhtar's there to try and slow them down. Let's see if he can get a frag with this Phantom to play. Paula's there to give some distraction. There you go. Cold pops up. Gets one kill down. Mikasa's there to trade and gets two more as he shoots through the nebula. But do they know that Ishtar is already right behind them? Who knows? Maybe they can still win this 50 round. Oh no, looks like they will.
The flank.
Oh, no.
The flank. It's unaccounted for once more. Mikasa picks up the 3-guy, but Ishtar from behind picks up Miliwan, making Mikasa an island with two angles, 180 degrees apart.
God,
Watch out for does have the ult, so he's gonna go to seaside, gonna get the plant off finally.
Oh, maybe they will win. Maybe this is the round that we should telegraph.
It's Mikasa. It's Mikasa again.
Yeah, okay. Faith in Mikasa. Maybe this time he will. Oh, yeah, look at the angle! Right, the 50 round comes in! Back and forth. What are we watching?
I don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore, man. What is this? We're witnessing history right here. This is it can't be better. It can't possibly be closer than these two teams right now. Thrifty on top of Thrifty. 8-7. It's just round number 3 of this second half. A lot could still happen, and we're not even not even sure who's gonna come out ahead so far. This time, let's take a look at the facts. All right, this round, if S2 Esports doesn't win it, they've got 0 creds, but they've been in this spot before. They've been in a spot where they've got no creds and they won. So I want to say this round's gonna be pivotal, but
There's a
it seems like
difference.
I don't even know.
There's a force buy. There's no eco this time around. There's a force buy, all right? So none of that thrifty shenanigans should happen. Because now we've got a game in our hands. This is the start of the second half, definitely. Here we go. The attackers, good old S2 Esports, they've got the force buy. Let's see, the flash comes in. Paranoia's out. 3 members are holding off the C side, so this is going to be very difficult to push up to. FaZe just opened it up, getting 1, but Cold and Rexy, they're holding down their ground, you know? There's still 2 members left for S2 Esports against 4. This should be an easy round and a cleanup as well. The force buy does not work out. They should have equaled if they wanted to win.
I mean, they're finally getting it though. The next round, they're absolutely gonna have.
This
to.
is what happens when you don't eco.
It seems like it. Let's see. Let's see. And S2 Esports finally, they will be getting the sheriffs that they so absolutely need. So they might be the thrifty. That's what I'm gunning for this time. Thrifty.
No, I believe we've shifted the momentum here. This time around, looking like SGG did. You guys get paid. YGGP, they should be able to win this very easily, despite you mind getting a hero buy here with the half armor and the Vandal. He will be on the Vanguard. He gets spotted by the all drones. He has to back away. This should be an easy round for them.
It should be, like you mentioned, but Blaze, down to 30 health. You mind, there you go,
There
Cold
we go.
and Pala does
Spike
pick up
down
2.
A.
And the main difference between, hold that thought though, because the action is not yet done. Flash is gonna be there to top.
Last player
Pala
standing.
picks up the 3k. Mikasa will be there for the singular kill going in the way of S2. But it's now down to Miliwan, who finally the rounds are panning out as it's supposed to, and Miliwan actually still does pick up the upgrade for himself, but still a lot to watch out for. And the spike is currently in Africa, so there's no way he's gonna be able to get that, especially because he gets concussed. He does get the shot off onto Bala, so this might be doable still. Get 85 HP and a dream. 40 seconds, still plenty of time to go for the rotate, but behind him Rexy, he doesn't know where he is.
Yep, the gravity well is there. That's gonna slow down the push. 30 seconds left still, and Ishtar's
30
got a
seconds
perfect angle you'd want to have to hold it out. He also hears the steps as well. Maybe even goes for the free
Last
fire,
player
and because he
standing.
went for the
Oh!
he loses the duel. But no one is down on low HP, so Rexy should be easily. He could run and gun this down all the way. There's no
Yes.
way he can win this unless Milwan pulls out a lockdown and gives away his position. It should be an easy peasy game. Rexy should be expecting him on the A short side. They pass right through each other.
They have an ult each, Ken. So, I don't know. I don't know about things so far. Rexy, Miliwan heard him. Oh no, Rexy. He's not looking at the right angle. Nebula is there to cover him up. But Miliwan, he's not looking at the right angle either. So this might prove that little guys. Oh, Miliwan with the 4K and the clutch. 8-9 S2. They're taking this closer round per round. 8-9 is the scoreline. And they're closer to make it. It's making it even, Ken.
Why is the eco rounds working out? Why is this happening? But a beautiful... Thank you, Miliwan, for showing us a beautiful clutch situation that you have done and showed to us. But, you know, we're just hating on the fact that the eco rounds are winning at this moment. So, but still, perks to you. Congratulations on winning that. You just gave your team another boost in confidence because you win that eco round. Cold now has an operator, but he's watching the wrong angle. He's on the C side. They're changing up the pace for S2 Esports. Looks like they're going to be making it really quick here on this A side, especially with that Rolling Thunder, although the 100 Fury is there to slow them down.
Open up A side for that Rolling Thunder, but let's see if they're gonna hold on to this control for now. And they do get the kill onto Pala, who does get a trade onto Mikasa. Still a 4 versus 3 at the end of things. Ishtar activates that tour de force, but it's there's the Cosmic Divide to work against for the for both of these teams for that. Most planned kill this is. And Newmind picks up 4, looks for the ace. Miliwan secures it, and S2 9-9 they equalize.
Yep, they equalize the score. I'm out of gas at this point. But, let's see if the defenders here, YGGP, opt for a force buy. If they do opt for that force buy, they will lose. That's what we've seen in the pattern
Yeah.
so far. They need to go for eco if they want to win. But looks like they will be opting for that force because Ishtar and Paula, they've got back to work with, especially Cold. Cold can give away a rifle. He can opt for the Blade Storm instead. They can still work something out and change things up. And they're still opting to see that they're probably gambling on the C side. But instead, S2 Esports, they're not done pushing this A side.
Right
They
here.
certainly aren't. Paula.
Right here.
Oh
He gets pummeled by the
bye-bye.
utility. He's gonna
Goodbye.
fall through this aftershock.
You
And
should run.
That's an easy first kill for S2 and an easy lockdown as well for them. Potentially gonna be
Mikasa.
securing them, but
No,
Mikasa
don't do
from
it.
behind. No, don't do it like that. He's so Ishtar. He falls to the knife, and it's a 5 versus 3 plant. Now finally coming through. You mind pressing the issue down in A as they
Enemy
make
remaining.
way, make space for themselves. No one falls as they pick up the flawless and S2. They've found their rhythm once more.
Yep, and finally the curse has been lifted. We're breaking these eco round wins, and now we've got a game in our hands. Well, we've got a game in our hands.
We've said it so
19
many
rounds
times in a
ago,
row.
but round 20 here. We've got full buy for both these teams, and Cold has the operator player. This time, they want to make sure that the A side is secured because they've been pushed up every single time, but the condition is there for our attackers. S2 Esports looking like they will be pushing up the B side instead.
Seems like it. But this time, let's see if there's gonna be any shenanigans from you guys to get paid on this defense. I mean, as to esports, they're full of it on the defensive half. And, Ishtar holding
got
down
your
into
trail.
Garage. Seems like they're not gonna be pushing anything anytime soon. There's go for the rendezvous to safety. B side, as you mentioned, seems like the target for Psycho and the gang. Managed to claim that real estate for now, but the plant is still in an awkward spot, so they're still wanting to go for those frags. Blaze! He gets one, but he gets traded out. No dismiss for you to safety. No Empress either. Paula presses the issue, and Miliwan
Spike down
is there for
B.
the response. So now it's down to Cold with the op. Okay. There's no way, right, Ken? There's no way he's gonna go for the clutch.
Nah, this can't be happening. Mikasa makes a nice shoulder peek. This gives him the time. He's only one bullet left for Cold. He has to go for the upgrade. He was not able to get the upgrade, and now he gives away his positioning. 40 seconds left on the clock. They can easily go to this A side because they know they heard the gun weapon drop over on the ceiling. So this is an easy
Recall boss
take
coming
for
back.
our attackers here, S2 Esports. Cold. There was a very interesting strat that YGGP opted for.
30
They pushed
seconds left.
A-Star, Paula, and Rexy all together from that ceiling into the plant, where Miliman was able to spray them all down all together. Spike's been planted, and now Cold has got a tall order to try and push this up. It's still the Omen and the Killjoy, so he has to expect that there might be some traps and smokes in favor of them.
And traps. He sets up Miliwan down in A long. And they've got a lot of angles to watch out, but that turret is certainly going to help them. A single peek from Cold and gives away his position, and it does. There you go, Cloud Burst to try and go for the half diffuse. He gets pumped through the smoke. 41 undeterred, but Mikasa will pick him up eventually through the Cloud Burst, no less. And 11-9, S2 one away from match point.
Yep, there you have it, 11-9. It's a full big bank as well, working out in the favor of S2 Esports. Looking like they're trying to close out this matchup as soon as they can. They want no more of this fight to keep going on. But here we go, force buy coming out from YGGP. We got a judge in play for Ishtar, but this is the man that has been holding Garage, so this still might work out for it because it's now time for the C push finally for good old S2 Esports.
Oh no, you know, again,
Placing swamp grenade.
this is not looking good for you guys to get paid. You know why? They
Why?
didn't go for the eco. They went for the force buy. So now things are against them. You mind statistically that is. Though he does get the first kill against Rexy, so that's gonna get them the plant. Ishtar falls as well, so no garage duty this time. Pick up the two-man advantage, one from behind, but they're accounting for it. They're ready for this flank, and he gets pummeled by everything Cold. Gets away miraculously, but he will fall eventually. 11-9 is the scoreline, and they're looking
Wait a minute.
to take us into match
Wait a minute.
point. Not now, Blaze. Actually, the Empress, and now they got a fighting chance at this, unless things work out as
player
they're
standing.
supposed to. Psycho gets the kill, and there you go. Match point. We're finally in it. S2 Esports. They make it happen.
Match point.
Finally, we're trying to shut down the game. Match point now for S2 Esports. They're pushing the envelope here. YGGP forced to another force buy. It looks scary. We saw Blaze with the Empress, but based on our experience, we also know whenever Blaze puts up the Empress, something bad happens. And that did happen. That is the curse right now for good old Blaze. I'm sorry for him, but Pala does have the Hunter's Fear ready, although Yuman may have some tricks up his sleeve since he has Blaze Storm as well. Let's see if they can push up this A site.
Get out of my way.
See if they can, but by the looks of it, they absolutely do can.
Ooh, there we go.
Can do that. Oh, but there we go. The tag does come through. Cold picks up Saikoro. You might activates the blades, but teammate's already done and down. Going to press the issue down in A long, but again, this time you guys get paid. They get the first pick.
Yeah, here comes the Aldo. He's gonna spot Yuman. Yuman has to dash away if he chose to, but he's got cover from behind. Fade is there to take Cold out. That's Guardian down, while the rest of the members is now on rifles, big boy rifles, Vandals, and Phantoms all across the board. For our attackers here, and Paula catches Mikasa off guard. They're not done. They're still pushing this up. Milovan has to back away. He has the spike. He has to make sure he stays alive. He's about to cross into the crossfire. Blaze is there with Paula, but they take the win. They win their duel, they win their gunfight, and this time they're pushing Paula out with the Roaring Thunder as well. This should be a lot easier for them, but Rexy is the man who's been walking around. I wonder if they hear that gun drop out and change. Here comes the gravity well. This should stop the plant from happening and gives enough time for Rexy to get behind
30
them.
seconds left. Spike
Starts-
planted.
Got a lot of work ahead of him with just a judge.
No.
No!
He gets one. So that's gonna make things easier, but You Mind gets the
Attackers
final
win.
frag of the day. Eventually closes this series out, but oh man, what a ride it has been for everyone involved in this. Not just the players, but us as well. But again, S2, they just close it down 13-9.
It was a roller coaster of emotions and a lot of gas of energy and adrenaline, but now we're all exhausted in our seats and we've got their game. That is our map 3 for our best of 3 for today's semifinals with You Guys Get Paid versus S2 Esports. S2 Esports finally coming out on top, 13-9, and that will finally close out our game for today. We weren't expecting this for today, and then tomorrow, who knows, because we got bigger teams as well, VCT players fighting tomorrow's semifinals. So look forward to that. My name is Gen. I've been casting here with my good friend Datum. Thank you for being with me today. I would have been dead by now if it weren't for you for here.
Yeah, see you guys tomorrow. This is Updraft by KJC Esports.